Cajun fried chicken, 2 picnic-sized fixins, 4 made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits, and a half a gallon of Bojangles iced tea. Whether it's before or after the game, baseball and Bojangles, a Wolfpack tradition.
NC State's College of Agriculture and Life Sciences is working to future-proof your food supply. Technological advancements are revolutionizing how healthy food gets to our tables and nourishes our communities. Cal's faculty, students, and researchers are on the front lines generating the connectivity and collaboration required to develop tomorrow's workforce, champion evolving agriculture and life sciences industries, and drive resiliency through innovation. Learn more at cals.ncsu.edu.
Together. That's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one team, UNC Health is keeping you well with renewed focus and approach to care services for you and your family. UNC Health, official healthcare provider of NC State Athletics. Learn more at unchealth.org/sports. Again, that's unchealth.org/sports.
In baseball, a game can change with a single pitch or swing of the bat. Things can change just as quickly in life. 1 minute you're catching a game, the next you're catching the flu. That's why Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina offers coverage for illnesses and injuries, big and small. Blue Cross North Carolina, official health insurance partner of NC State Athletics. We're about to get started here from Doak Field at Dale Park. Dominic Fritton taking his final warm-up tosses. And we'll get the Tigers and the Pack going. Series that dates back to 1949. Clemson has had the upper hand. Tigers with 124 wins over the years, 90 victories for NC State. There has been one tie, although here of late, Pack has more than held its own against the Clemson Tigers. In fact, the two teams have split the last 2 games, 5-5. And NC State went down to a tough place to play last year at Clemson and won 2 out of 3. And one of the winning pitchers for the Pack in that series is on the mound tonight. Dominic Fritton was able to beat the Clemson Tigers last year, and he'll try to repeat that feat here tonight in the first game of this series. First ever ACC Baseball Cancer Awareness Week kicked off on Monday, and that has been spearheaded by NC State head coach Elliott Avent. And all 16 teams throughout the ACC will be participating in a cancer awareness campaign of their choosing, with many electing to play for a cause that has directly impacted their program. Certainly has here at NC State throughout the athletic department. So great to see the other ACC teams supporting that cause this week. And now we're about to settle in and play baseball here from Doak Field at Dale Park. It'll be Dominic against Dominic to start this game. Dominic Fritton on the mound for the Pack. Dominic Listy, the left fielder, leading off for the Clemson Tigers. Listy, a left-handed batter against the southpaw, Dominic Fritton. He tolls the rubber, has the sign. Left-hander will pitch from the stretch, even with nobody on base. And here it comes, the opening pitch of the ball game. That's a fastball at 94 right through there for a strike. Listy, the man that gets the Tigers started, 292 is the average. Couple of home runs, 37 driven in for Listy. Little left-handed hitter, chokes up on the bat. You don't see that much anymore these days. And he looks at a fastball down low from Fritton. Defensively, the Pack playing Listy pretty much straight away. He's a guy that slaps the ball all over the place. Here he takes a low fastball. That one again at 94 miles per hour. Fritton up in the count, 2-1. Now, Clemson has been really good in the first inning of games. It has been the Tigers' most productive inning, in fact, of all of them. 61 first inning runs. And here's an inside fastball from Fritton. And Listy working the count. It's now 3-1. We shouldn't be surprised. Listy walks a lot. He's like Ty Head for NC State. He's got 46 walks this year. And here he is with a 3-1 count. Fritton to the plate, and that fastball is off the edge outside. And Listy works yet another walk. Well, if you've watched Dominic Fritton this season, you better get to him in the first inning because he has struggled with command in the opening inning, and that's not unusual. It's not unique to just Dominic Fritton. But he does take some time, it seems, in the first inning to feel comfortable out there on the mound, and here he walks Listy to start this ball game. Canarella now is up there. He's a center fielder. Here's another pitch that's up. Listy, we mentioned those walks, came into that at bat with a .518 on base percentage. I mean, he's actually better than Ty Head in that category, which is pretty remarkable. He's 5 for 5 stealing bases, and here he's going to draw a throw over from Fritton. The batter, Canarella, he's hitting .304. Couple of home runs, 28 driven in. He, too, is a left-handed hitter. It's interesting, Fritton, generally speaking, has had more success against right-handed batters than he has lefties. And one of the reasons is he's not afraid to pitch in on right-handed hitters. That fastball running in on the hands of right-handed batters has been an effective pitch for him, especially with 2 strikes. Another throw over to first. Listy is back. Count is 1-0 on Canarella. Here's a snap throw over. It bounces in front of McHugh, but he's able to knock it down. So already you can tell that Listy has the attention of Fritton, who walked him on 5 pitches. 1-0 the count on Canarella. To the plate it comes. High drive, left field. Back goes Hogue. He's at the track, at the wall. He leaps, makes the catch. Listy was all the way down at second base, and he'll hustle back to the bag at first. Where that ball really carried off the bat of Canarella. Pushed Hogue right to the wall, where he left his feet to make the catch. The ball wouldn't have gone over the fence. But Canarella on a deep fly ball is retired for the first out, and Listy remains at first base. So good play by Hogue. You want to get to the wall first and then relocate the ball, and that's what he did. Excellent technique there as Jaron Purify, the second baseman, will come up now for the Clemson Tigers. Purify, right-handed batter, takes a high fastball. 6 right-handed hitters in the lineup tonight for Clemson. Runner not going, pitches inside. This looks very similar to many of Dominic Fritton's starts this year, where he struggles with his command in the first inning, and then usually he gets locked in after that. Let's hope he can get through this first inning with no damage. Another throw over to first. Listy heads back. Now, one of the things that NC State has working for it on Fridays and Sundays is 2 left-handed pitchers that do a pretty good job slowing down the running game. Ryan Marone is the other, who pitches on Sundays for NC State. But again, now Fritton struggling with the strike zone. That one is up high, and the count goes to 3-0. Purify is a .309 hitter. He's got 3 homers, 27 RBIs, and now Alex Sosa, Wolfpack catcher, is going to take the long walk out to the mound and have a chat with Dominic Fritton, try to get him settled down. You know, Clemson is ranked second, as we mentioned. They've been consistently good all year. At the beginning of the season, they won 17 games in a row during one torrid stretch. And here of late, the Tigers have prevailed in 11 of their last 13. And you look at their numbers, they're just a real solid team. I mean, they're good on offense. They're not like Louisville, where they knock the cover off the ball, but fundamentally sound. They move runners along. They got good speed. Here's the 3-0 pitch. There's a strike. So Sosa goes out and has a chat with Fritton, and he immediately pours one in there for a strike. Still a good hitter's count here for Purify, the number 3 hitter in the Clemson lineup. Pack looking to turn 2. Fritton checks a runner that comes home. Swing, a liner into deep center field. Back goes Head. He's there, and he makes the catch. Ball's hit pretty well on a 3-1 pitch. Pure Fry was expecting a fastball. That's what he got, and he blistered it, but to the deep part of the ballpark. So that's the second out. Now Colin Priest, the DH, he'll try to do some damage. Priest has been an extra base hitting machine for Clemson. He has got 8 homers and 10 doubles to lead the Tigers. Now let's see if Listy is interested in running. He's not on this first pitch. Big cut by Priest, and he fouls it straight back. Priest, a 6'3", 245-pound sophomore. Big guy. He's the DH tonight for the Tigers and the cleanup hitter. Count is 0-1. Throw to first. It would be surprising if Listy doesn't take off, but they perhaps don't want to take the bat out of Priest's hands either. Luke Nixon, the Wolfpack second baseman, is about 12 steps into the outfield grass against this left-handed batter as the Pack is in a shift. 3 defenders on the right side. All by his lonesome on the left side of the infield is the third baseman Hebner, and he's playing where the shortstop would normally be positioned. Here's a pitch that's outside. Count is 1-1 on Priest. Fritton from the stretch comes home. That one's high. So he's falling behind all the hitters here. Treading into dangerous waters when you do that against a good team like Clemson. Now on a 2-1 pitch, Priest can be a bit picky. But based on what we've seen all year, if Fritton can get through this inning without damage, he'll probably settle in. That's what is usually done this year. Here's a high drive deep to left field. Hogue is back. He's in front of the wall. He leaps. It's over his glove and into the bullpen for a home run. That time Hogue could not make the leaping catch. And with 2 outs here in the first, Clemson jumps out in front of Dominic Fritton 2-0 on the 9th home run of the year from Colin Priest. And he went the other way to do it. Well, like the Canarella ball, that one just kept carrying. Canarella's fly ball that Hogue caught right at the wall, that one carried, and this one, boy, it just jumped. Didn't look like he hit it all that great, but he got enough of it. And so Fritton pays for the walk to lead off the inning, and he also pays for falling behind in the count 2-1. So he had to lay a fastball in there, and Priest knew what to do with it. So 2-0 Clemson. First pitch to Jacob Jarrell is in there for a strike. Jarrell, the right-hand hitting catcher. And Fritton to the plate. Here's a ball grounded foul down the third base side. Well, Clemson's inning has been the first. They have done a lot of damage in the opening inning, and that's 63 first inning runs now for the Clemson Tigers. No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch, swing and a miss. Got him with a high heat. First strikeout for Fritton, but more damage done by Clemson in the opening frame. Tigers score a run, or 2 runs, on 1 base hit. There were no errors, nobody left on. We played a half inning from the Doak. Clemson 2, NC State coming up. This is Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield.
Hey, Pack fans, did you know over the past decade, Rebels Turf and Tractor and John Deere have provided turf equipment to maintain the sports fields at NC State? They're pleased to feature new and pre-owned golf and sports turf maintenance equipment. Rebels Turf and Tractor has a location in Myrtle Beach and their home base in Fuquay Varina or RebelsTractor.com. You're now able to provide the same field conditions that the Pack plays on each week with the help of Rebels Turf and Tractor. Rebels Turf and Tractor is proud to support Wolfpack Athletics.
Amedio's has been serving homemade Italian food in the Triangle since 1963. At Amedio's, they use authentic family recipes and fresh ingredients to make classics such as lasagna or oven-baked pizza. Amedio's has a true NC State atmosphere with autographs and memorabilia covering their walls. Amedio's Family Restaurant is a proud supporter of NC State baseball. Hampton Farms peanuts are available to snack on with friends and family while cheering on the Pack at Doak Field. Get nutty for the Wolfpack with Hampton Farms peanuts. Tony Haynes back at the ballpark. We're at the Doak. Clemson has jumped out to a 2-0 lead on a 2-run homer by Colin Priest, the designated hitter. He went the other way and shot it into the Clemson bullpen to left field. And now we get a look at the right-hander for the Tigers, Aiden Canuck. And all Clemson does when Canuck pitches is win. Canuck has started 10 games this year. Clemson is 10-0 in those 10 games. And Canuck's record, 6-0. 3.86 is the ERA. So this guy's finding a way to win ball games for these Clemson Tigers. See if NC State can change the trend here tonight, although the Pack's already down 2-0. Ty Head's going to lead it off for the Pack. Freshman center fielder shows bunt, pitches a strike. Now he's showing bunt because Clemson's got 3 infielders on the right side. Pano's the third baseman. He is playing even with the bag at third, but he's about 20 feet wide of the bag. That's one of the reasons Head decided to try to lay a bunt down. And now here's a swing and a pop-up foul. This one beyond the Clemson dugout on the left side. And Head is down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. It'll be Head, McHugh, and Hogue for the Pack. Canuck from Fort Myers, Florida, sets in, puts the glove right in his face as he awaits the sign. And now he's going to go into the windup, and here it comes. And that pitch is down low for a ball. Head's having a great freshman year. He's cooled off a little bit here late. 265 the average, 3 homers, 26 driven in, but the number that stands out, 43 walks on the season. Here's a fastball, strike 3 at the knees on the inside corner. So Head got locked up on that one, and a good start for Canuck. That's a really good 2-strike pitch. You know, the Pack has studied this right-handed pitcher, and he's known for his changeup, a really good changeup, especially to left-handed batters. And you know, Head had that pitch in the back of his mind. And what do you know? Canuck did throw the changeup. He threw the fastball right in there on the inside corner for strike 3. Now here's Chris McHugh up there for the Pack. He takes a strike on the outside corner. Next pitch, high fastball, swung on and missed. That one in 91, but had a little life as Canuck able to slip it by the bat of McHugh, who had an incredible series out of Cal last weekend. Here comes the right-hander's pitch. There's a slider. That one's down and away. McHugh had 3 hits in each of those games out in Berkeley. And he was 9 of 13 in that sweep over the Bears. 1-2 pitch. Fastball. Tried to run a 2-seamer back over the outside corner, but it stayed off. And now the count is 2-2. So with that red-hot series out on the West Coast, McHugh now batting .368, 7 homers, 44 driven in. There's a pitch away. After falling behind 0-2, it's now 3-2. Clemson will shift on McHugh with 3 infielders on the left side. And here comes the 3-2 pitch, a line drive, and there's another base hit for McHugh. Ball looks like a beach ball when it's come up there for him. That looked like that changeup down, and he was able to just go down and get it. Kind of scoop that ball into left field. Was a changeup, well located, down below the knees on the outside corner. But he hit it off the end of the bat, but he's still able to fight it off and get himself another base hit. So McHugh on with a 1-out single, and now it'll be Hogue, the left fielder. Hogue takes, slider down and in. So going back to that Cal series now, McHugh he's 10 for his last 14. That's pretty good. Hogue, a left-handed batter for the Pack. And he swings. There's a line shot. That's a base hit into center field. McHugh will put on the brakes at second. Hogue stayed right up the middle on that one and delivers a base hit. So after falling behind 2-0 in the opening frame, the top of the first, NC State's coming right back here with 1 out. Back-to-back base hits by McHugh and Hogue. And that'll be Justin DeCrisio, the shortstop, in the box. So Canuck, who came in with 74 strikeouts and 56 innings pitched, he was able to strike out Head to start the proceedings here in the bottom of the first inning, but McHugh and Hogue have come up with base hits. Here's DeCrisio going after the first pitch, and he fouls it at home plate. Justin, the cleanup hitter for the Pack, 298 the average, 8 homers, 31 driven in. Right-hander sets, deals, good changeup. That one at 77. Oh. Got kind of fluttered up there like a butterfly, and DeCrisio had to hang back and take that pitch for a strike. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Canuck sets, deals. There it is again. Again, 77. So it's slow, and slower for Canuck, especially with 2 strikes when he's throwing that changeup up there. Good take there by DeCrisio. Count is now 2-1. Or rather, 1 ball, 2 strikes. McHugh off second, Hogue off first. Right-hander sets, deals, and that one is off the outside corner. Looked like a little cutter there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In his career, Canuck has been a 3-time ACC Pitcher of the Week. Here it comes, changeup. This one's lined down towards the left field corner. Is it fair or foul? It is a fair ball in the corner. McHugh to the plate, and they will hold Hogue at third. Here comes the Pack. A double by DeCrisio, scoring McHugh from second base. And just like that, the Pack has cut the lead in half. It's 2-1 Clemson. It looked like that changeup again, and DeCrisio just did a fantastic job staying back and keeping his hands back and keeping that ball fair. That was the challenge when you get out in front like that, is can you keep the ball fair? And he did. That one landed just inside the chalk down in the left field corner. And that brings the crowd into the game. Jimmy Bellinger, the pitching coach for the Clemson Tigers, is on his way to the mound to chat it up with Canuck, who has not experienced a lot of adversity either this year or in his career. I mentioned that in his 10 starts this season, Clemson is 10-0. Well, take that over 2 years. The Tigers are 23-2 in Canuck's 25 career starts. So when he's out there, they usually win. But the Pack has done a good job of staying back on that changeup here in this inning and getting some base hits. And I would imagine that after seeing the Pack sit on the change a little bit, we might see Canuck throw a few more fastballs. It's hard to sit on a changeup all the time, because if they do throw the fastball, you're going to be way behind. So now second and third for NC State. Still only 1 out. Sosa's the batter. And here's the pitch. That looked like another change. That one at 74. And that one is bouncing up there and blocked by the catcher, Gerald. Sosa, a couple of home runs out on the West Coast. 7 now on the year. He's got 28 driven in. Runners at second and third for the Pack. Here comes the pitch. There's another changeup. He's staying with it, but that was great location on that one. That was right on the outside corner. And you could tell it was running away from Sosa a little bit. That was a good pitch to take. You don't want to swing at that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Canuck from the stretch. Change up again, down low. He loves throwing that one. That's his pitch, although NC State's been able to jump him a couple of times here in the inning and get base hits. Now 2-1. Let's see if Sosa gets a fastball. Right-hander to the plate. Nope, he's going to stay with it. And that one's inside, and that'll run the count to 3-1. Good job by Sosa laying off these tough changeups. Let's see if he's got a fastball in him now with a 3-1 count. Hogue at third, DeCrisio down at second. Right-hander sets, deals. Do another off-speed pitch. A swing and a miss by Sosa. It's hard to convince yourself that on a 3-1 pitch he's going to stay with it, but he did. Now the count runs to 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sosa, left-handed hitter, hitting .281. Here comes the pitch to the plate, gets a fastball, bloops it out behind second, caught by the shortstop Chufo. So Sosa got jammed on that one and hit it right off the hands. Finally got a fastball, but boy, in a really good location, right on the inside part of the plate. And Sosa hits the soft liner to shortstop for the second out of the inning. So Braden Fraseman now will try to come up with a big 2-out base hit. Runners at second and third. Pitch, fastball, that one away, 92 miles per hour. Fraseman been really swinging the bat well, junior from Ohio, batting .278. He's got 8 homers, 36 driven in. Pitch, that one's off-speed delivery, a slider, misses outside. Now Fraseman's got himself in a hitter's count, 2-0. So the Pack is really doing a good job making Canuck work here in this opening inning. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Oh, he was way out in front of that changeup. That one made Fraseman look silly, and you know, at 2-0, he's thinking to himself, surely he's going to throw a fastball. Nope. This guy tends to pitch backwards. And if you try to guess with him, you're probably going to get yourself in trouble. Here's a fastball and a good one. And Fraseman a little late on that pitch, and he swings and fouls it back. Last year, Canuck had a very impressive performance against NC State. He was the winning pitcher. No runs, 10 strikeouts, over 8 innings pitched. Now this is a totally different NC State team. Here's a 2-2 pitch, smack back up the middle. There's a base hit. Here comes Hope to the plate. DeCrisio will score without a throw. And the Pack bounces right back. After Clemson scored a pair in the first, NC State puts 3 on the board in the bottom half. And just like that, NC State is leading 3-2. 2-run single for Fraseman. Great at bats for NC State here in this first inning against a really good pitcher. So a big 2-out hit for Fraseman. And it's 3-2. Wolfpack. Nixon is at the plate. And a throw over, and they chase Fraseman back. Fraseman, RBIs 37 and 38. He's really come alive for NC State over the last month. Now Nixon, a left-handed batter, the 7th man to come to the plate here in the inning, has a good cut on that fastball and fouls it straight back. We mentioned against a College World Series team last year, this pitcher Canuck pitched 8 innings of shutout ball against NC State, but this Pack team has scored 3 off him here in the opening inning as Nixon has a big cut and he fouls it straight back. A couple of fastballs there for Nixon. He had good swings, but he's down in the count 0-2. 3 runs on 4 hits in the inning for NC State. Fraseman not a big lead down at first base. Canuck sets, steals, change up, blocked nicely by the catcher Jacob Jarrow. He'll be a busy man back there tonight with that changeup. Linus Baker is calling balls and strikes tonight. It's 1-2, runner not going, swing and a miss. That was a high changeup, not good location, but took enough off of it after a couple of early fastballs. Nixon was out in front. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Canuck, but NC State does damage. 3 runs, 4 hits. No errors, 1 left. We played 1 between these 2 top 25 teams. NC State up on Clemson 3-2. This is Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield.
Wolfpack fans, it's baseball season. North Carolina peanuts provide protein, fiber, and heart-healthy nutrients. More information about the North Carolina Peanut Growers Association is available at aboutpeanuts.com.
Serving the Raleigh area since the year 2000, Sammy's is a proud NC State tradition. They have great food and a fun atmosphere and are known for their beer selections. Capable of hosting large parties or watching the game with your friends, Sammy's is a great choice for all. They're located between NC State University's main and Centennial campuses on Avon Ferry Road at the Mission Valley Shopping Center. John Deere equipment from Rebels Turf and Tractor helps keep the playing field at Doak Field maintained for the Wolfpack and Fuquay Marina or Myrtle Beach. Rebels Turf and Tractor is a source for turf equipment, John Deere tractors, and more. Tony Haynes back with you from the radio booth. Action-packed first inning, to say the least. Clemson scored a pair, a two-out, two-run homer by Colin Priest, but then NC State pieced together a three-run rally in the bottom of the first. 3 runs on 4 hits. Braden Fraseman with a 2-run single, 2 outs. And so Fritton has the lead as he takes the mound here in the second. And here he comes to the plate. First pitch swung on, blooped out behind second base. Luke Nixon in the grass. He's out there and he makes the catch. So Jack Crichton, the right fielder, going after the first pitch. And a shallow fly ball into center field. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the second. Josh Pano now the batter. He's the third baseman. He'll be hitting from the right side against Fritton. Fritton walked the leadoff batter to start the game, Listy. And Listy came around to score on that 2-run homer by Priest. But again, we've seen the pattern before where Fritton struggles with his command in the first and then slowly gets more comfortable on the mound. Let's see if that'll be the case here tonight. Pano takes, and that pitch down low. 2-0 is the count. Pano, 281 hitter, 8 homers, 40 driven in, so he's been very productive for the Clemson Tigers. Batting here with nobody on, shows bunt, pulls the bat back, strike is called by Linus Baker. Defensively for NC State, not a full shift. Nixon, though, is pulled over up the middle at second base. Here's a strike at the knees, fastball in there, 94 miles per hour for Fritton. And now it's 2-2. Now, Fritton's money pitch or pitches with 2 strikes, either fastball into right-handed hitters or fastball elevated. Let's see what they go with here. It is a fastball in, and he swings and misses. That is a tough pitch, and he seems to locate it very well to the glove side. A lot of pitchers struggle with that. But Fritton picks up his first strikeout. Got in just enough, and Pano couldn't get the barrel to it. Good pitch. Let's see if he can now mow the side down in order. Gaffney, the first baseman, will bat. He's a right-handed hitter, and he takes a strike. From the first to the second inning, we've seen this all year. Fritton seems to be a totally different guy. Didn't have great command, was falling behind the hitters in the top of the first, and now he's throwing quality strikes in the second inning. Left-hander deals, jams in with a slider there, and that one is rolled foul in front of the Clemson dugout. And just like that, Fritton is up in the count, 0-2. Both of these pitchers can strike you out. We mentioned Canuck and his strikeouts for Clemson. Well, Fritton came into this game with 71 strikeouts and 56 innings pitched. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He jammed him with that fastball in on the thumbs. And hanging tough, though, is Luke Gaffney as he fouls it behind home plate. Count stays 0-2. Gaffney 290, 4 homers, 31 RBIs. Not an overpowering offense for Clemson, but they're solid throughout the lineup. No easy outs. Fritton is ready. Here he comes. He got him with that inside fastball again. Runs it right by the swing of Gaffney. And that is a strong rebound inning for Dominic Fritton, who retires the side in order with 2 strikeouts. We played an inning and a half from the Doak. NC State 3, Clemson 2. This is Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield.
This is Matt Chazanow, voice of the Wolfpack. As a parent, I know nothing is more important than the safety of our children. More than 22% of teen-involved crashes per year in North Carolina are the result of distracted driving. Help protect our teenage drivers by ensuring they practice safe driving habits and avoid distracted driving. Always encourage your teens to put down the phone while driving and lead by example. Let's have a hands-free NC. Brought to you by Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina. Learn more at trustedchoice.com/go-state.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one team, UNC Health is keeping you well with renewed focus and approach to care services for you and your family. UNC Health, official healthcare provider of NC State Athletics. Learn more at unchealth.org/sports. Again, that's unchealth.org/sports.
Tonight's game is presented by UNC Health, the official healthcare provider of NC State Athletics. Thank you for your support of Pac-9 baseball and NC State Athletics. To the bottom of the second we go. NC State up on Clemson 3-2. And we'll see if Aiden Canuck can rebound after a shaky top of the first inning. He'll be facing 8-9-1 for NC State here in the bottom of the second inning. Matt Ossenfort, the DH, are going to start it for the Pack. He's the number 8 hitter tonight. Big lefty hitter is Ossenfort. He'll be followed by Hebner, and then back up top for Ty Head here in the second inning. Here's a high fastball. 2-0. Well, NC State certainly made Canuck work in the first inning. He threw 32 pitches in the bottom of that first. So good job by the Pack, not only getting base hits and scoring runs, but really making this right-hander work. Now he comes in with a fastball. That's a strike on the inside corner. Limited duty for Ossenfort this year. He's 6 out of 22. That's a .222 average. Got a homer and 3 runs batted in. He'll see the shift with 3 infielders on the right side. Linus Baker twirls his hand in the air, indicating he wants the pitch clock to be reset. Here it comes. That's in there for a strike. Now with 2 strikes, the third baseman Pano, who had been playing even with the bag, he's going to back up on the left side of the infield where the shortstop would normally play, and this one gets in on Ossenfort, and he fouls it off on the left side. Well, the Pack's won 4 in a row, coming off that sweep at Cal last week. Here's a 2-2 pitch. That's a changeup, just a little bit low. That one fooled Ossenfort. That was a great pitch, an amazing take, really, if you think about it. He was able to lay off that pitch just below the knees. Now 3-2. Here it comes. It's another changeup, and this one's poked foul out of play on the left. Pack has won 9 of its last 11. Here comes the 3-2 pitch, down low, good at bat by Ossenfort. That'll be the first walk given up by Canuck. Well, if you can lay off that changeup, easier said than done. The majority of those changeups do not end up in the strike zone. Now, I'm making it sound simple because when it's come up there, it looks hittable. Now to be Hebner to the plate. Jacob Jarrell with a sign to his middle infielders. Hebner leads the nation in sacrifice bunts with 14, so it would not be surprising to see him lay one down here. And he squares the bunt. It's a wild pitch. That one skips by Jarrell. There's that changeup again, and he'll bounce a bunch of those. And that was just an impossible one to handle. So Ossenfort ends up at second base on the wild pitch delivery by Canuck. And now you would imagine that Hebner will bunt again. Now Jarrell's going to step out in front of the plate and look over to Clemson dugout, get some signs, and he's going to relay those to the infielders on what he's going to do on a bunt situation. Ossenfort, not great speed at second base, so it's going to be a pretty good bunt by Hebner. Now they almost had him picked off, but Ossenfort's able to scamper back into the bag. That was an interesting play. They had Chufo, the shortstop, bluff as if he was covering. And then the second baseman, Purify, actually came in from the other side to cover. They're just trying to confuse Ossenfort. He did a pretty good job of getting back to the bag. And here comes the 1-0 pitch. Hebner lays down the bunt. It's a beauty. In comes the third baseman. Bobbles. He can't make the play. Pano will just have to eat it. So it should be a base hit for Hebner, who continues to bunt at an elite level. Perfectly placed between the mound and third base. The pitcher, Kanak, was at a disadvantage. He was late getting over there because he falls off to the first base side of the infield when he delivers the pitch. So it was going to have to be the third baseman, Pano, or bust. And Pano scooped it up, bobbled it briefly. May not have been able to get Hebner anyway, and Hebner's going to be given a base hit. So the Pack continues to put the pressure on Kanak. Now first and third, nobody out. Back to the top of the order, and Ty Head will be the batter. NC State trying to add on here, leading 3-2. And here's the pitch. That's a slider in there for a strike. Head took he struck out looking back in the bottom of the first inning. Kanak was able to freeze him with an inside fastball. Right-hander will pitch from the stretch. Here it comes. This ball is ripped but foul wide of first base. There was that changeup again. He was way out in front. It's one of the issues with that changeup. Even if you do get the bat on the ball, you're going to have a hard time keeping it fair. That's something DeCrescio did very well with his double back in the bottom of the first. Kanak with the sign. Head in the box. Here's the pitch. Swing and a bloop into right field. Crichton, the right fielder, makes the catch. Ossenfort is tagging from third. Here's the throw to the plate. It's not in time. Good throw by Crichton from right field, but Ossenfort just able to beat it. And NC State now takes a 4-2 lead. Head hit it off the end of the bat, but he got it just deep enough. And a good takeoff by Ossenfort, and it had to be well timed as he tagged from third base, because that throw from Crichton in right field was a beauty. 4-2 NC State on the sac fly by Head. Now it'll be the red-hot McHugh at the plate for NC State. Checks his swing on the changeup. He went around. For Head, that's his 27th RBI of the year. Hebner, the runner at first now with one out. And the pitch to McHugh. Swing. Hard hit on the ground to short. Chafu is up with it. Flows to second for one, but the relay from Purify, the second baseman, skips by the first baseman, Gaffney. So they'll only get the one out at second base. A force of Hebner, and McHugh will reach on a fielder's choice. Chufo, the shortstop, flipped the ball to the second baseman, Purify, in good shape, but Purify's throw was in the dirt, and the first baseman, Gaffney, couldn't dig it out. It's not going to be an error because McHugh did not advance from first base. You can't assume the double play. So McHugh will reach now, and 2 away in the inning. Here's a swing by Hogue. Lines it out into center field over a couple of steps as Cantarella, and he's able to make the catch. Hogue hit it right on the button, but has nothing to show for it. But NC State able to score another run, one base hit, no errors, and one left. We've played 2. We'll pack up on second-ranked Clemson, 4-2. This is NC State baseball from Learfield.
Thousands of our teammates make and deliver 300 of Coca-Cola's brands and flavors locally. From the heartland to the coast, in big cities and small towns, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a purpose, and we love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
At J. Alexander's, every meal brings people together with a focus on food and hospitality. Each aspect, from wood-fired steaks to handcrafted cocktails, is prepared to shape the dining experience. J. Alexander's in Raleigh is a space where friends meet, flavors are enjoyed, and every meal becomes an occasion. Located behind the Crabtree Mall at 4600 Crabtree Valley Avenue.
Caterpillar is a proud sponsor of NC State Athletics and the Wolfpack Women Platform that recognizes, celebrates, and empowers the strength of our Wolfpack women's athletic family. More information about the platform is available at wolfpackwomen.org. Thank you, Caterpillar, for your continued support of NC State Athletics. 4-2 Wolfpack. Second-ranked Clemson coming to the plate here in the third. Dominic Fritton looked shaky in the first inning. A leadoff walk, two-run homer, but set the Tigers down in order in the second with a couple of strikeouts. Now Chufo, the shortstop, will lead it off. He's a right-handed batter, and he looks at a pitch in there for a strike. Chufo, the number 9 hitter, followed by Listy and Canarella for Clemson. Fritton lifts up the right leg, comes home, tries a slider this time. That one at 80 miles per hour, and it's up. 1-1. Fritton is a fly ball pitcher. Likes his fastball and likes to throw it up in the zone. So he's going to get some fly balls. Here's the 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Threw that one by. As a fly ball pitcher pitching in this ballpark, he can give up some home runs. That homer by Priest in the first, that was the 8th allowed by Fritton this year. Here comes the pitch. This one swung on, popped foul out of play on the right. Chufo hanging tough for Clemson. He's batting .256, 4 homers and 23 driven in. Great crowd here tonight to watch these two top 25 teams go at it. 1-2 for Fritton. He comes home. There's that high fastball. Too high, though. Chufo wasn't going to offer at it. Fritton making his 11th start. He does have one complete game this year. Leads the pack in innings pitched and strikeouts. Here's a 2-2 pitch, jammed him, and that one's fouled back once again. So Fritton making good use of that fastball in on the hands of the righty hitters. A lot of lefty pitchers are reluctant to do that. They're worried about getting the ball back out over the plate, but not Fritton. He pitches aggressively into these right-handed hitters, and what do you know, he does it again. That time, though, with the slider, and he ties up Chufo, who swings and misses. So Fritton has struck out 3 in a row, all swinging. That's a good way for him to start this top of the third inning. And now Listy, the left fielder, will bat. He drew a leadoff walk, came around to score on the home run by Priest in the first. And the pitch, that fastball is just off the plate outside, close pitch. Well, Listy's a lot like Ty Head for NC State. If you don't throw the ball over the plate, he's not going to swing. That walk that he drew in the first, 47th free pass this year. Fritton drills that one in there for a strike. Fastball right over the plate. So you look at Listy with 46 walks this year. Ty Head with 43. And here's a 1-1 pitch, sinking liner, one hop. Up with it is DeCrisio, and he throws him out. That was a soft liner in front of DeCrisio. Wasn't going to be able to catch it in the air. And then on the short hop, the ball kind of rolled up his left arm, but it caromed right to his throwing hand. It almost looked intentional. I don't think it was. But the ball popped off the heel of his glove right into his throwing hand, and he delivered a strike to McHugh for out number 2. Now Canarella, the left fielder, is up there, and he looks at a slider away. Canarella sent Josh Hogue all the way to the wall and left back in the first inning, and Hogue was able to make a leaping catch right in front of the fence. 1-0 the count. Here's Fritton to the plate. Good fastball on the outside corner. He's been consistently at 94. He really pitches to the glove side of the plate very, very well. And in this case, that's away from the left-handed hitter, Cantarella. A ball and a strike. Here it comes. Slider. That one drops in there. How about that? Little slide piece by Fritton, giving Cantarella a different look. And Fritton just pounding the strike zone after that shaky first inning. Trying for another 1-2-3 frame. Crowd comes alive. It's 1-2. Here it comes. Slider. This one's lined into left center field. That will be in for a base hit. Head will cut it off and get it back to the infield, and that'll hold Cantarella to a base hit. Another breaking ball. That one, though, was out over the plate. Cantarella not trying to do too much, just did a really good job at waiting back and serving that ball in the left center field. Good piece of hitting. You can see why he came into the game batting .304. So the inning stays alive. Fritton had retired 6 in a row before that base hit. Now Purify, the second baseman, will bat for the second time. He looks at a slider down and in. Purify hit the ball well his first time up in the first inning, but he lined out to tie head in center field. Cantarella has 4 stolen bases this year. He's been caught 3 times. Not going. Here's a swing, a liner into left. Hogue starts back now, comes in, and he makes the catch. So a couple of line drives off the bat of Purify, but 2 outs. So Fritton works around that 2-out single. We move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. NC State 4, Clemson 2. This is Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield.
Hey, Wolfpack fans. Bojangles is ready for game day. Bojangles, proud sponsor of Wolfpack Baseball, is home of the tailgate meal. 8 pieces of seasoned Cajun fried chicken, 2 picnic-sized fixins, 4 made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits, and a half a gallon of Bojangles iced tea. Whether it's before or after the game, baseball and Bojangles, a Wolfpack tradition.
NC State's College of Agriculture and Life Sciences is working to future-proof your food supply. Technological advancements are revolutionizing how healthy food gets to our tables and nourishes our communities. Cal's faculty, students, and researchers are on the front lines generating the connectivity and collaboration required to develop tomorrow's workforce, champion evolving agriculture and life sciences industries, and drive resiliency through innovation. Learn more at cals.ncsu.edu.
It's game time at LS Tractor, proud sponsor of NC State Athletics. Equipment with up to 100 horsepower is at lstractorusa.com. And the other LS Tractor dealers across the state of North Carolina. 4-2 Wolfpack as NC State bats here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Aiden Canuck, starter for Clemson, has struggled against NC State, and that's not something that happens very much for him. He's thrown 49 pitches as he faces the Pack here in the 3rd inning. DeCrisio will lead it off. The Wolfpack shortstop doubled down in the left field corner his first time up. And the pitch to him. There's a fastball. And that one stays up. So DeCrisio doubled on a changeup. So not surprising that the first pitch he sees is a fastball from Canuck. Right-hander deals. Here's a ball that's shot into right field. Another base hit for DeCrisio. So he just keeps on hitting. Good start for NC State here in this 3rd inning. I'll tell you what, the Pack doing to Canuck something that most teams this year have not been able to do. They are getting some good swings off of him. That's the 6th hit for the Pack. You put it into perspective, Canuck against ACC opponents this year, he's 4-0 with a 3.13 ERA. But the Pack getting some good swings off of him. Here's Alex Sosa now. Sosa, left-handed batter, checks his swing, change-up strike. Sosa hit a soft liner to the shortstop Chufo his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Wolfpack catcher batting .279. He's got 7 home runs. DeCrisio off first, not going. Pitch is inside. You look at Canuck's career record in 2 seasons at Clemson. He's 11-1 with a 3.55 ERA. Here's the 1-1 changeup. That one bounces up there. Good block by Jarrell. Jarrell's got to be solid behind the plate against this changeup. There's been one wild pitch so far. That time Jarrell, though, was able to block that one nicely, keeping DeCrisio at first base. 2-1 to count. Runner not going. Pitch to the plate. High fastball. This one's smoked into left center field, and that is going to find the gap in left center. DeCrisio around second to third. He'll put on the brakes there, and Sosa with an opposite field double. So the Pack continues to keep the pressure on Canuck. That was a high fastball, and somehow Sosa was able to get to it. That's a pretty impressive piece of hitting there by Alex Sosa. The ball was cut off at the warning track by the center fielder Canarella, but no way they were going to prevent Sosa from getting a double. Now, if that ball does get to the wall, DeCrisio probably would have scored. Second and third, no outs are a great chance to add on for NC State, and here's a slider that is outside for a ball. Well, Fraseman at the plate, he had a 2-run single back in the first inning. Pack played at 3 in the first, had scored 1 in the second, now looking for more here in the third. There's that changeup, flutters in there for a strike. 1-1. Fraseman with that base hit now has his average up to 283, 38 RBIs. Clemson will play the infield back. Count is 1-1. Fraseman waits, swing, line drive, another base hit. That drops in center field. DeCrisio scores. Sosa will stop at third. Looked like another changeup, and Fraseman just stayed up the middle. He's got 3 RBIs tonight. I'll tell you what, the NC State hitters have had a fantastic approach against this changeup artist. It was a changeup. Fraseman stayed right up the middle, hit it off the end, didn't hit it solid, but because you stay up the middle, you don't open up against that changeup, you got a chance to make enough contact for a base hit. And if you start swinging from your heels and try to pull the ball, you're probably going to either swing and miss, or you're going to hit a weak ground ball to the left side. And Fraseman just doing a great job. Excellent approach, staying up the middle, and he picks up another RBI. So the Pack now leading 5-2. Pretty impressive work at the plate so far tonight for NC State. 5 runs on 8 hits. You look at that Clemson dugout. They got a shot of Eric Bakich, the head coach. He's got a walkie-talkie in his hand, so he's communicating with somebody down in that bullpen. And Clemson's going to get a relief pitcher heated up down in the pen. Well, Canuck has not had many games like this in his 2 years at Clemson. Probably nothing quite like this. His numbers have been so remarkable. Here's Luke Nixon now at the plate. Runners at the corners. Still nobody out. Now they throw over to third. Chasing Sosa back. I got to think the reason that they threw to third that time, they just wanted to see if Luke Nixon may tip his hand in case he's trying to lay down a bunt. Now time is called. One of the Clemson pitchers came flying out of the dugout and started sprinting down to the bullpen. So Linus Baker, the home plate umpire, spotted that and halted play for a second. Now we're ready to go. Sosa down at third, Fraseman at first. Here comes the pitch to the plate. There's that changeup. Turn it over a little bit, and it tails outside. 1-0 on Nixon. Nixon struck out swinging back in the first. It was a changeup up in the zone, but he came up empty. 1-0 the count. Now he squares the bunt, pulls the bunt down the first base line. Pitcher takes a look at home plate. Now he has to go to first. Too late. That little bit of hesitation by Canuck. And by the time he threw to the second baseman, Purify covering at first base, Luke Nixon with too much speed, and he was able to beat it out. And so a great bunt, good enough for Nixon. He'll pick up an RBI, and they're going to give him a base hit. Sosa comes home from third. That makes it 6-2. And I think that Eric Bakich, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, I think he's going to request a challenge on the play at first base. I'll tell you what, you know, modern day baseball and the analytics and the bunt is frowned upon. You know, why they all question, why do you give up an out? Well, NC State's a poster child for why bunting can be an effective weapon. Whether it's a guy like Luke Nixon or Matt Hebner, they're really good bunters, whether they're trying to sacrifice or not. They put pressure on the defense, and that's what happened there. Bakich took a look at home plate, decided he didn't have enough time to get Sosa coming down from third, and that little bit of hesitation gave Nixon a chance to reach at first base. So 6-2 Pack. Ossenfort now, the battery swings and misses. Heady baseball by NC State against a pitcher, Canuck, who's been one of the best in the ACC this year. 0-1 now. Ossenfort squares the bunt, pulls the bat back on an inside slider. Everybody's an eligible bunter. Why not? They did not challenge that play at first base, by the way. Luke Nixon is safe. Fraseman at second, Nixon down at first. Pack has scored 3 in the first, 1 in the second, now 2 here in the third. And now Ossenfort squares the bunt, and the pitch hit him. Looked like a slider or a cutter. A cutter running in on Ossenfort, and when you square like that, it's almost impossible to get out of the way. You got to think Canuck may be losing his cool a little bit here, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. Well, this is the most runs that Canuck has given up all season long. And now he's in danger of adding to that tally, which is not something that he would want to be reminded of. But now NC State has bases loaded, nobody out, and Hebner at the plate. Let's see if he bunts. No, he doesn't this time. And that fastball's in there for a strike. A little tougher bunting with the bases loaded if you're trying to get a run home, because they do have the force play at home plate. So I think they're going to let Hebner swing away here in a 6-2 ball game. Pitch to him, good swing, and he punches this one foul out of play on the right. Hebner down in the count, 0-2. Well, ideally, Eric Bakich, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, you want to squeeze as many innings out of your starter here on the first game of a series as you can. It's tough going to the bullpen early in game one. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and Hebner stays alive if he taps that one foul at home plate. Hebner picking up an RBI on another bunt back in that second inning. I think this year he's gotten 12 or 13 RBIs on bunts alone, and he's got 24 RBIs for the year. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, changeup, blocked beautifully by Gerald. Well, Canuck loves his changeup, and you better have a lot of confidence in your catcher in this situation when you got the bases loaded. That time Gerald did a good job of smothering that ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hebner taps this one foul at home plate. Boy, they are really making this right-hander work. Over 60 pitches now with no outs in the third inning. Fraseman is at third. Nixon down at second. Ossenfort the runner at first. Pack has scored 2 more here in the third to lead second-ranked Clemson 6-2. Here's a pitch to Hebner, a bouncer to third. They'll come home for the force. There will be no throw to first. Gerald, the catcher, held onto the ball. They are able to force Fraseman at home plate for the first out of the inning, and the bases will remain loaded. You can score that one 5-2 with Hebner reaching on the fielder's choice. So now Nixon at third, Ossenfort at second, Hebner at first. And now the top of the order, Ty Head is up there for the third time. Head with a bases loaded opportunity. And the pitch to him, swing and a miss. That was the changeup. It wasn't well located. It was up in the zone, but looked like Head was going for the whopper and the grand slam to blow this one wide open. But it's hard to take that approach against a guy that throws a good changeup. 0-1. Righty sets, deals, pitch, swing. There's a drive into right field. Back is Crichton. He's at the wall, and he makes the catch right in front of the fence. Another run will score. Luke Nixon tagging from third. And that'll make it 7-2. And Head just did miss that grand slam he was looking for. But he will pick up his second sac fly of the night and another RBI. Pack adds another run at 7-2. So Nixon scores. Ossenford tagged at second and went to third. Havner State put at first base. Really good baseball by NC State tonight. Just excellent at bats. Couple of really good bunts. Couple of sac flies. Pack is having some very productive plate appearances in this game against a very good pitcher. Now McHugh up there with runners at first and third, 2 outs. Pitch to him is high. McHugh with a single in the first, came around to score. At that point, after that base hit, he was 10 for his last 14. Here's the 1-0 pitch, hit off the end of the bat, up the middle. Purify, the second baseman, fields it right next to the bag at second, and he touches the bag for out number 3. Not an easy chance. That ball had all kind of English on it, hit off the end of the bat. But NC State does more damage as the Wolfpack scores 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no Clemson errors and 2 left. We played 3 complete. Wolfpack up 7-2. This is NC State baseball from Learfield.
Texting while driving takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. That's like driving the length of an entire football field with your eyes closed. I'm joining Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents to urge you and your families to put down your phone. Every day in the U.S., more than 9 people are killed and 1,000 injured in crashes involving a distracted driver. Let's have a hands-free NC. Brought to you by Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina. Learn more at trustedchoice.com/go-state.
Hey, Wolfpack fans, Bojangles is ready for game day. Bojangles, proud sponsor of Wolfpack Baseball, is home of the tailgate meal. 8 pieces of seasoned Cajun fried chicken, 2 picnic-sized fixins, 4 made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits, and a half a gallon of Bojangles iced tea. Whether it's before or after the game, baseball and Bojangles, a Wolfpack tradition.
Tonight's game is presented by UNC Health, the official healthcare provider of NC State Athletics. Thank you for your support of Pac-9 baseball and NC State athletics. Wolfpack tonight, 6 RBIs on 7 singles, 2 sac flies. Pack is 7 of 13 with runners on base. That's how you piece together a good performance against a talented pitcher. And now Priest, who has done all the damage for Clemson, comes up there to face Fritton for the second time. And the cleanup hitter, designated hitter for the Tigers, takes a pitch outside. Priest with 2 outs. Hit one in the bullpen in left field back in the first inning. That was his 9th home run of the year. Lefty batter looks at a fastball off the corner. 2-0 the count. Since then, though, Fritton has really settled in. He's retired 6 of the last 7 batters he's faced as he starts the 4th inning, and the Pack leading 7-2. Another close pitch. That one misses just off the plate. Being a little careful here with Priest, who got him with that opposite field home run back in the opening inning. But NC State has come right back and scored 7 times since then. Here's a 3-0 pitch, check swing, strike is called. Fritton beat Clemson last year down there. 5 2/3 innings of shutout ball. Fritton to the plate, high fastball. There's a walk. Well, Clemson's 2-run first started with a walk. That to Listy. And now Fritton with his second free pass of the night. Those are the ones you hate the most because against a good team, you give a free pass to the leadoff batter. You're asking for trouble. Let's see if Fritton can settle in now. Gerald, the catcher, is up there. He's a right-handed batter, and here's a pitch that's up for a ball, 1-0. Clemson catcher struck out swinging his first time up. Priesthoff first pitch. Yeah, that one's inside. So all of a sudden, Fritton's having a tough time finding the plate. Clemson showing patience there after falling behind 7-2, a walk, and now a 2-0 count on Gerald. And now Sosa is going to head back out and talk with Dominic Fritton. Game 2 of the series set for tomorrow night, and we'll begin that one an hour earlier at 6 o'clock. Then a 1 p.m. finale on Saturday afternoon. Next week, on Tuesday, a midweek home game for NC State. And that'll be against UNC Wilmington. Pac's been good at home this year. 18-6, the home record for NC State. Meeting over, 2-0. Here comes the pitch. Big cut, fouled straight back. Mentioned Pac with a 18-6 home record this season. That College World Series team from last year went 28-7 here at the Doak. Priest off at first. Here comes the pitch to the plate. There's a strike. There's that fastball right on the inner part of the plate again. Gerald questions that call of Linus Baker. Not going to say too much because he's the Clemson catcher and he's looking to get some calls himself along the way here tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner not going. Pitch, and this one is whacked foul into that Clemson dugout. They'll start scattering down there after that one. Surprised we didn't see a white towel or white flag flashing out of the dugout after that. Eric Bakich, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, kind of got a chuckle out of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Another good cut and a foul back. Now remains 2-2. Get it bad here by Gerald. Eric Bakich, a graduate of East Carolina. Been here since the 23 season for Clemson. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, another foul ball. So Gerald making Fritton work here in this 4th inning. Before taking over the Clemson program, Bakich had been the head coach at both Maryland and Michigan. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Ran that 94 right by him. So Fritton wins the battle there. That'll be his 4th strikeout. Make it his 5th. Five Ks, all swinging for Fritton. Here's a pitch in there for a strike. It's Crichton, the right fielder, up there now. He popped up to Luke Nixon his first time up. Batting .264. Runner off first. Pitch. Backdoor slider. Just missed the plate. 1-1. Pack leading 7-2. Here in the 4th inning. NC State has out-hit the Clemson Tigers 9-2. Priest will walk off his lead at first. He'll stay put on this pitch, and it's fouled back. Fritton doesn't fool around. I mean, he's going to mix in a few of those breaking balls and change up. But more than anything, he likes the fastball. And when he's able to locate and command the gas, he's going to have a lot of success. It's 1-2. Left-hander pitches. Tried to get to that inside corner again. That was a good take by Crichton. A little bit inside. Well, he throws enough of those to the righty hitters And they're aware that's where he wants to go with 2 strikes. Kind of opens up the entire plate, including the outside corner, if he wants to go there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tries that inside heater again, and this one's too far in. So it's 3-2. Now Crichton might get a little better one to hit here. He's done a good job of laying off that inside gas. Britton adjusts his cap, back up top, has the sign. Lefty from the stretch deal. Swing and a liner into center field, but Ty Head coming in makes a waist-high catch. Well-struck liner off the bat of Crichton, but fortunately for NC State, Head was positioned perfectly. And that's the second out of this 4th inning as Priest stays put at first base, and now Pano, the third baseman's up there. And you're wondering about Priest. He's not attempted a stolen base this year. He's a big, strong power hitter, so he's not known for running the bases. Here's an inside pitch to Pano. He struck out swinging his first time up on that inside heat. Fred trying to get through the 4th here with the Pack leading 7-2. Lefty sets, deals. There's a breaking ball. That one stays upstairs. Fritton now with 66 pitches thrown. At the very least, they'd like to get him through 5 or 6. He's been pretty reliable getting NC State into the 6th and 7th innings this year. But if he keeps falling behind the hitters like this, he could sabotage those plans. He falls behind 3-0. And remember, he started the inning by walking Priest. 3-0 count. Pano probably will be taking. He does, and it's ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning, 3 in the game. So the inning is staying alive. Clemson not helping Fritton out here by expanding the zone. It's kind of what you would expect the Tigers to do. They're a really good team, obviously ranked 2nd in the country. They've been ranked inside the top 4 for 8 consecutive weeks. Now Luke Gaffney, the first baseman, swings and misses on a slider. This one gets away from Sosa, but the runner at second, Priest, was not ready to go. That ball caromed off of Sosa's shin protector and rolled over in front of the NC State dugout, but Priest, I guess he figured he wasn't going to get a good jump. He wasn't ready to run, and he stayed put at second base. That may turn out to be a break for NC State. We'll see. 0-1 the count on Gaffney. Fastball misses in. Not quite as sharp getting to that spot here in this inning, as Fritton has fallen behind more hitters, and that's something that Clint Chrysler has noticed, and the NC State pitching coach is out of the dugout on his way to the mound. Probably trying to give Fritton a little bit of a breather here, because he's thrown a few more pitches here in this 4th inning with a couple of walks. Now at 70 pitches here with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Clemson scored 2 in the first, a 2-out, 2-run homer by Priest. And then NC State went to work on the Clemson starter Canuck, as the Pack scored 3 runs on 4 hits in the first, a run on a hit in the second, 3 runs on 4 more hits in the third. And it's really been a clinic at the plate tonight by the NC State hitters, as they have done damage against one of the top pitchers in the league. So meeting is over. Runners at first and second. 1-1's the count on Gaffney. He's a right-handed batter. Here is Fritton to the plate. Strike right through there. The fastball at 93. Something about those meetings on the mound when the pitching coach goes out there. It seems the next pitch is always back in the strike zone. Now Fritton, 1 strike away from getting out of the jam here in the 4th inning. It's 1-2. Left-hander deals. There's a high fastball, too high. That was not going to get a swing from Gaffney. May have overthrown that one a little bit. They got it up to 95. He'd rather get that pitch right at the letters or just above. Then he can get a swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch, swing, and a high fly ball to right. Fraisman back a couple of steps in front of the track. He's there, and he puts it away. 2 walks in the inning, but no damage done. We played 3.5 from Doakfield to Dale Park. 7-2, NC State leading. This is Wolfpack baseball from Learfield.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one team, UNC Health is keeping you well with renewed focus and approach to care services for you and your family. UNC Health, official healthcare provider of NC State Athletics. Learn more at unchealth.org/sports. Again, that's unchealth.org/sports.
Thousands of our teammates make and deliver 300 of Coca-Cola's brands and flavors locally. From the heartland to the coast, in big cities and small towns, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a purpose, and we love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Hampton Farms peanuts are available to snack on with friends and family while cheering on the Pack at Doakfield. Get nutty for the Wolfpack with Hampton Farms peanuts. NC State fans had plenty to cheer about tonight as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Pack is leading second-ranked Clemson 7-2. And for NC State, 3, 4, and 5 coming up here. Hogue, DeCrisio, and Sosa. The starter, Canuck, is still out there as he starts this 4th inning, having thrown 73 pitches. That'll help him out a little bit as a swing by Hogue. He pops it straight up in the infield. Second baseman Purify is there to make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. So Hogue is now 1 out of 3. NC State back in the D1 baseball top 25 for the first time since week 2. Pack coming in at number 25 in this week's poll. Here's an outside fastball to DeCrisio's had a good night. Wolfpack shortstop is 2 for 2. RBI double back in the first. And he swings, hit this one off the end of the bat. A one-hopper back to the pitcher. No problems for Canuck here. He gets 2 outs on 3 pitches. That one will go 1-3. This will be the first time since 2017 that the Wolfpack will host a 3-game series against a team ranked in the top 3. Back at 17, that top 3 team was number 1 Louisville. So 2 quick outs for Canuck, and boy did he need that. So he's trying to stick around in this game. Clemson does have a relief pitcher down in the pen, not really throwing right now, he's just kind of looking. And now with 2 quick outs, Chris Hart, the third base coach for NC State, he'll customarily call the hitter up the line to have a little impromptu meeting. Just wants to make that pitcher wait a little bit instead of getting a real quick 1, 2, 3 inning. And a guy like Canuck, although he's at 75 pitches, he's so good, you know, the last thing you want him to do is get into a rhythm. And now Linus Baker, the home plate umpire, comes up and shuts that one down. I tell you though, Chris Hart is the associated head coach for NC State. He knows all the tricks, got a lot of savvy, and after watching Canuck get 2 outs on just 3 pitches, he wasn't going to let Canuck get back in the dugout just like that. Although Sosa has a good cut on this first pitch, and he fouls it straight back. Sosa with a double to the gap in left center field. Here's a pitch, and there's a fastball in there for a strike. So Canuck looks like a totally different pitcher here in the 4th. 2 quick outs, and now he's up in the count on Sosa, 0-2. Sosa batting .285. Here's the pitch, changeup. This one is stroked into right center field. That's going to get down for another base hit. Going to roll all the way to the wall in front of the home bullpen. And Sosa is at second with his second double of the night. Went down and got that changeup. And you look at that swing, he was looking for the changeup. I mean, he kept his weight back, kept his hands back. He was going to take a chance that, hey, this guy's going to throw me his best pitch with 2 strikes, and that's exactly what he did. You usually don't get a swing like that on a changeup unless you're looking for it. So 12 doubles now for Sosa. And that keeps the inning alive for Fraisman, who's got 2 singles, 3 RBIs tonight. And the pitch, swing and a miss. There's that change again. That one diving down at the ankles of Fraisman. He's got his average up to 288 now with those 3 ribbies. 39 on the season. Sosa off second, being held by the second baseman Purify. Here's that pitch down to the dirt, blocked by Gerald, the catcher. Clemson and NC State have split the last 10 games in the series, 5-5. 1 ball and a strike, pitch to the plate, slider. This one's whacked down the right field line. Could be trouble if it's a fair ball. It is. Down in the corner, Fraisman with his 3rd hit and his 4th RBI of the night. How about that? 8-2 NC State. So Sosa scores easily from second base. The right fielder Crichton had to play that one on a hop down in the corner. Bounce right up against that 330 marker in right field. Let's see if they try to get Canuck through this 4th inning. 2 outs with a runner at second. And Nixon is the batter. Nixon tonight 1 for 2. He's got an RBI, a bunt his last time up. And here's the pitch up high. So now 82 pitches thrown by Canuck. Just a master class in the way to swing the bat here tonight for NC State. Pack hitters not trying to do too much. Staying up the middle, going the other way. You know, you got a guy that throws a lot of changeups, and I tell you what, they have done a tremendous job preparing for this Clemson right-hander who's been so good this year. Here's a changeup down low, 2-0. Nixon batting .298 now. Fraisman off second, pitch is swung on, lifted in the air to center. Cantarella should have no problem. Sees there, he makes a catch. Well, Canuck got the first 2 batters on 3 pitches here in the 4th. But Sosa kept the inning alive with a double into right center field, and then another double off the bat of Fraisman going the other way, and NC State adds yet another run. The Pack has scored in every inning tonight. We've played 4. It's 8-2 NC State. You're listening to Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield. Amedio's has been serving homemade Italian food in the Triangle since 1963. At Amedio's, they use authentic family recipes and fresh ingredients to make classics such as lasagna or oven-baked pizza. Amedio's has a true NC State atmosphere with autographs and memorabilia covering their walls. Amedio's Family Restaurant is a proud supporter of NC State baseball.
Every day in the U.S., more than 9 people are killed and 1,000 injured in crashes involving a distracted driver. You can't control other motorists, but you can control how you operate your vehicle. Avoid distractions while driving, like texting or checking social media. You can't drive safely unless driving has your full attention. Any non-driving activity you engage in increases your risk of crashing. Brought to you by Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina. Learn more at trustedchoice.com/GoState.
Caterpillar and NC State are proud to honor NC State student athletes for excellence on and off the field. Tonight's Cat Scholar athlete is Alicia Villar, a junior on the women's volleyball team from Florida. She's studying sports management. So Caterpillar and NC State, congratulate Alicia and all the other NC State Scholar athletes for their hard work and dedication to excellence. 8-2, NC State. Dominic Fritton takes the mound here in the 5th. And he'll get the number 9 hitter Chufo to start things. And the Clemson shortstop goes up there and takes a big hack at this one, and he swings and fouls it back. 0-1. Fritton now has thrown 74 pitches, so he's pretty good shape here in the 5th. Gave up the 2 runs in the 1st, a couple of walks in the 4th, was able to work around that. Here's a high fastball. Count is 1-1. Clemson just 2 hits. The home run by Priest in the 1st, and single by Canarella his last time up. Here's a long drive deep into left field, and this one is going to be gone. Long gone over the second wall back there. And so Chufo, the shortstop, hitting his 5th home run of the year, and just like that, Clemson has its 3rd hit, but this one leaves the yard, the 2nd home run of the night. And it's an 8-3 NC State lead. Solo shot. So the Tigers getting a home run from the number 9 spot in the order. That was a fastball, and that was one of those Fritton wanted to get in, and he left it out over the middle of the plate. And that's what a lot of left-handed pitchers worry about when they're facing righties. If they can't locate that fastball on the inner part of the plate, they're going to get themselves in trouble, and that one was right over the middle. And Chufo knew what to do with it. Here's the pitch to Listy, the left fielder. It's called a strike. I think Listy thought that was a little bit high. He's a guy that knows the strike zone with 48 walks. Here's a slider away to the lefty hitter. This one just off the plate, 1-1. Christie walked and scored in the 1st. Grounded out to DeCrescio at short in the 3rd. So 3 runs on 3 hits for Clemson. 2 of them have left the park. Here's a pitch down low. 2-1. Listy's a guy that's going to make you work on the mound. He's not going to chase. And he's gotten the count in his favor once again here, as Fritton trying to get his first out of this 5th inning. Here's a swing, and this one's fouled off of Sosa back behind the plate. And he's going to take a little stroll and walk this one off, as Linus Baker walks a new baseball about halfway out before flipping it out to Fritton. Oh, no, Linus Baker checking with Sosa, make sure he's okay. Umpires and catchers, they're brothers in arms back there. They're all decked out in that protective equipment, but they get popped nonetheless. Here's a high tight fastball. 3-2 now the count. 3 walks on the night by Fritton. One thing you don't want to do is get freebies here, allow Clemson to have traffic on the bases and get back into this game, but there's ball 4. Listy's not going to expand the zone. That's his 2nd walk of the night. So Dominic Listy, the very pesky one at the plate, draws another walk. And now Fritton will check down with the DeCrescio to see who's going to be covering in case there's a ground ball here off the bat of Canarella. Clemson center fielder 1 for 2. He singled back in the 3rd, and there's a strike. Fastball in there. Canarella, 307 hitter. A couple of homers, 28 driven in. See a right-hander throwing down in the bullpen for the Pack now as the throw goes over to first base. Sends the runner Listy back. 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors for NC State. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Clemson. Listy 5 for 5, stealing bases this year, but was leaning back to first base as Fritton made that delivery, and this pitch is outside. So Fritton, he really sharp in the 2nd and the 3rd innings. Not so much here the last couple. He walked 2 in the 4th, got away with it. Another walk here in the 5th. And here's ball 2 rather, 2-1. That one wasn't even close. Well, in the dugout, they well, you never expect anything because you never know, but the expectation is that Fritton is usually going to get you into the 6th, maybe the 7th, but, you know, he's running out of, not time, but running out of pitches here because he's not been able to throw strikes, and he misses with another one here. It's 3-1. That's 86 pitches thrown. And now here goes Sosa back out to the mound. And I think in this case, Sosa wants to buy a little time for the bullpen. It is a right-hander throwing down there for the Pack. Can't tell who it is. You know, they've got Schaffner, who's been great. And Schaffner can finish out a game, you know, give you 3 or 4 innings with overpowering stuff. He's been effective in getting those long game saves to close it out. But I don't know that they'd want to go with him here in the 5th. Well, it just depends, you know, because the score can dictate the decisions you make. And right now, NC State's up 8-3, but Fritton kind of on the tightrope here. Here comes the 3-1 pitch, and that one just misses. Some really good at-bats here by Clemson. Again, not chasing. And Fritton is cooperating. That is his 5th walk. And that'll be the second baseman, Purify. Now, he's a right-handed hitter. We'll see what NC State decides to do. Still nobody out here in the 5th. And here comes Clint Chrysler to the mound. So that's probably going to be it for Fritton. Gave up the leadoff homer to Chufo on a fastball out over the plate to start this 5th inning. Then he walked Listy, another free pass to Canarella. And with the middle part of the order coming up, I mean, the last thing you want to do here, if you're Fritton, and he knows this, you don't want to build traffic on the bases against the second-ranked team in the country, but that's exactly what he's done here. So see what Clint Chrysler's going to do. That's Anderson Nance in the bullpen, and boy, he has been a force out there for NC State, and especially in middle relief, and he can give you some distance. And they're going to go to Nance. That's not surprising with a right-handed hitter, a good righty hitter coming up. So it's going to be a shorter than usual outing for Dominic Fritton, and it'll be the freshman Nance coming into the game for NC State. We have a break in the action. Wolfpack up 8-3, but Clemson has a couple of runners on with nobody out here in the top of the 5th. You're listening to Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield.
Wolfpack fans, North Carolina peanuts are consumed at ballparks, during games, or at gatherings. More information about the North Carolina Peanut Growers Association is available at aboutpeanuts.com.
Thousands of our teammates make and deliver 300 of Coca-Cola's brands and flavors locally. From the heartland to the coast, in big cities and small towns, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a purpose, and we love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
So that'll do it for Dominic Fritton. The walks really came back to bite him here in this game. Leadoff walk to start the game in the first to Listy, and then 2 batters later, Priest dumps one into the bullpen for a 2-run homer. And after the shortstop, Chufo, hit a home run to start this 5th inning, Fritton walked back-to-back batters, Listy and Canarella. So now NC State is going to go to one of its star relievers and freshman Anderson Nance, who has been absolutely lights out his last couple of outings. How good has he been? Well, I'll tell you how good he's been. At ECU back on the 8th of April, Nance came out of the bullpen, pitched 5 scoreless innings, gave up only 1 base hit, struck out 6. And then last weekend at Cal, in the middle game of that 3-game series. Nance, 5 innings, no hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts with no walks. So in the last 10 innings pitched, Nance has allowed no runs, only 1 hit with 12 strikeouts. That's about as good as it gets. And he's going to face the number 3 hitter, Purify, here with runners at first and second. And Nance to the plate. Comes over the top of that slider and misses outside. Now, having said that, Nance has not run up against a team like Clemson. So he's going to have to be really good here to get the Clemson Tigers out. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. That one 95, climbed the ladder with that fastball. And Purify couldn't catch up to it. Purify's hit the ball on the nose twice. A couple of lineouts. And that was against Dominic Fritton. Nance pitching from the stretch. Checks the runner at second. Here's a fastball. This is popped up. Shallow right. Frazeman sprinting in. He's got time to get under it. He makes the catch. Runner from second will stay put. Purify trying to shorten up his swing against that mid-90s fastball. Couldn't get to it. Just a pop-up to right field. So that's the first out for Nance. Next batter up will be Priest, the DH. He's had a good night. A 2-run homer in the first. He walked back in the fourth. And he will bat from the left side. Nance to the plate. Slider. Good take there by Priest. That was a close pitch down and in. Nance leads the pack in earned run average. It's at 2.95. The record at 6-1. This is his 14th appearance. He's made 1 start. That is a changeup in for a strike. Over 39 2/3 innings for the season. 13 earned runs, 33 hits. 9 walks, 38 strikeouts. 1-1. Runners at first and second. Check swing. There's a slider. That's in there for a strike. Good pitch. Now a ball and 2 strikes. Boy, it would be something if Nance can limit the damage and keep the score right where it is now, with the pack leading 8-3 in the top of the 9th. Listy at second. Canarella down at first. Anderson Nance to the plate. Fastball. That one stays off the outside corner. Priest kind of flinched. You got to be ready to hit when a guy's throwing 95, 96. But he was able to pick it up in time to lay off. And the count goes 2-2. Pack looking for 2. Priest is certainly a double play candidate if he hits the ball on the ground. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the slider. 2 quick outs for Nance. Boy, he snapped that one off beautifully. The back foot slider, it was blocked nicely by Sosa behind the plate. Nicely done on both ends. Now 2 away, and Gerald, the catcher, is the batter. And he struck out twice against Fritton. Nance has the sign, checks that runner down at second base. Right-hander's pitch, slider, strike. Boy, that pitch has been really good here in the early going of this outing. Fritton goes 4 innings, 3 hits. Right now, 3 runs. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility. He walked 5. That's what killed him. 5 strikeouts, 87 pitches thrown. Here's the 0-1. Another slider just off this time. Almost the same spot. A little further out, 1-1. Problem for Fritton with the walks, there was just a lot of long at-bats, a lot of stressful pitches thrown, and sometimes that 87 pitches when you're out there feels like 187. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a pitch. Slider, swing and a miss. Well, I saw him at Duke, Nance, about a month ago. He went 5 innings, allowed just 1 on 3 hits. He had the fastball going in that game. I mean, he was hitting 96. Looks like the pitcher choice so far in this outing is a slider. It's 1-2, another slider. This one's lined into left. Hogue coming on. He gets in front of it, makes the play on the ground, but that'll be a base hit and another run scored. So that time, Gerald hanging in there against that slider. Picks up an RBI single. And that brings Clemson a little bit closer. Listy scores from second. That was hit off the end a little bit, but Gerald got enough of it. And after seeing that slider 2 or 3 times, you know, you get the feeling that he just was able to hone in on it a little bit better, and he made a nice swing. So that makes it 8-4. And now Crichton, the right fielder, will bat, and he looks at a fastball away. Sure, Nance is out there saying to himself, you know what, maybe I went to the slider, we went to the slider one too many times, but you know what, if he locates that pitch with 2 strikes just off the outside corner, Gerald's not going to hit it like that. 1-0, and there's a slider on the corner there. That one on the base hit was a little bit out over the plate, and it really gave Gerald a chance. When you throw a hard slider like that, you know, it comes down to location. And Nance missed his spot on that base hit. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This is a fastball. Good cut by Crichton, but he fouls it straight back. So once again, Nance 1 strike away from limiting the damage here. Clemson has scored 2 in the 5th inning, but the Pack leads 8-4. Runners at first and second. Nance glances at the runner at second base. Comes home. Changeup called a strike. How about that? Crichton can't believe it. That pitch against the right-handed hitter started off the outside corner, but he turned it over just enough, and it was able to float back over the outside corner. Crichton gave up on it, and that'll be the 2nd strikeout of the inning for Anderson Nance. All in all, a good job by him, but Clemson gets a couple of runs on 2 base hits, no errors, and 2 left. We're halfway through this one. From the Doak, it's 8-4 NC State. This is Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield.
Hey, Wolfpack fans, Bojangles is ready for game day. Bojangles, proud sponsor of Wolfpack Baseball, is home of the tailgate meal. 8 pieces of seasoned Cajun fried chicken, 2 picnic-sized fixins, 4 made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits, and a half a gallon of Bojangles iced tea. Whether it's before or after the game, baseball and Bojangles, a Wolfpack tradition.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one team, UNC Health is keeping you well with renewed focus and approach to care services for you and your family. UNC Health, official healthcare provider of NC State Athletics. Learn more at unchealth.org/sports. Again, that's unchealth.org/sports.
So a new pitcher, Noah Samal, is going to come into the game for the Clemson Tigers. And Samal will be in relief of Canuck, who had a tough night by his standards. And his standards are pretty high. That's why it was a tough night. NC State really doing a good job against one of Clemson's better pitchers. So it'll be Samal. He is a right-hander. Or actually, he's a lefty. Samal, a lefty pitcher for Clemson. Tall guy, 6'7", 250 pounds. He is a redshirt sophomore from Ohio. And he's going to take over now for the Clemson Tigers here in the bottom of the 5th with NC State leading 8-4. So Samal in for Canuck. And it'll be Matt Ossenford leading it off for NC State. He's the number 8 hitter. He's the DH tonight for the Pack. Now, play is being held up. I think Samal is having trouble with his communication device out there. Canuck, who's been an automatic win for Clemson here the last couple of years, struggled tonight. 4 innings pitched, 11 hits, 8 runs all earned. Just a great job by the NC State hitters against him. Here's a swing by Ossenfort, and he taps it foul at home plate. Canuck walked only one, struck out two. That's a great stat because he had come in with 74 strikeouts and 56 inning pitch. So NC State able to make contact against a strikeout pitcher. He threw 85 pitches in the game. This one is outside. Count is 1-1. Now this Clemson bullpen has been outstanding this year. One of the keys to their success. Here's a breaking ball outside. 2-1. Samal, 10.50 ERA. He's 0-1. This will be his 6th appearance. He has made 4 starts. 6'7" lanky pitcher comes right over the top, misses with that pitch. 3-1. He's only pitched 6 innings, though, allowed 7 runs on 5 hits. Falls behind here on Austin Ford, 3-1. And the lefty deals swing, and this ball is smoked down the right field line, but it hooks foul. Final line on Fritton, by the way, 4 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. Count now 3-2 on Austin Ford. Changeup just off the corner, and Austin Ford's on base again. He walked in the second, was hit by a pitch in the third, and now he walks again. So the Pack gets the leadoff man aboard to start things. And it could be another sacrifice moment for Matt Hebner, who is as good as anybody at that. Picked up an RBI earlier in this game with a bunt. Probably we'll see him get one down and try to get Austin Ford down to second base. So Hebner, the number 9 hitter, and he will square the bunt, and it's a beauty. Up the first base line, picked up by Samol, the pitcher. He has enough time to throw him out. But again, Hebner gets the job done. That should be his 16th sacrifice of the year. How about that? So Austin Ford gets down to second. Pack has scored in every inning tonight. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Trying to do it again here in the 5th inning. It will be Ty Head at the plate. Had 2 RBIs tonight, pair of sacrifice flies, and he looks at a strike. That was a fastball right in there. Head with the 2 RBIs tonight got his season total up to 28. 263 is the batting average. Kind of a partial shift for Clemson here. Here's a good fastball. That one's on the corner for a strike. Purify, the second baseman, pulled way over to the hole on the right side. Shortstop Chufo playing almost directly behind the bag at second. Count is 0-2. Pitch is swung on. This one's hit in the air to right. Crichton over towards the line. Under it, makes the catch. Austin Ford is tagging from second, and the throw will be cut off. So that's 3 fly balls to right field tonight for Ty Head. And with 2 outs, NC State has a runner at third, and the batter now will be the red-hot Chris McHugh. McHugh singled and scored in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second. Bounce back to the pitcher in the third. Chris' batting average at the moment sits at 367. Got 44 RBIs, trying to pick up another one right here. The left-hander Samol steps off. And now the lefty's back up top. Still kind of fiddling around with that communication device up in his cap. Struggling with that a little bit, but now he's ready to go. Here's the pitch to McHugh. Almost hit him. I mean, he wasn't trying to get out of the way either on that changeup at 78. He was going to take one for the team, but somehow the ball missed him. And it's ball 1, 1-0. Austin Ford off third. And the pitch, McHugh gets an off-speed pitch and way out in front with that swing. 1-1. Boy, what a series he had out in Cali. Went 9 of 13 against the Bears last weekend in that 3-game Wolfpack sweep. 1-1 pitch, and this one does hit him. So McHugh on his way down the first. And And he'll pass the torch on to Josh Hogue. So Hogue will be the batter here with runners at first and third. Josh with a single in the first. He's 1 out of 3. Trying to come through against this left-handed pitcher whose first delivery is a slider away. Clemson's beginning a really tough stretch here. 10 of the Tigers' last 13 games are going to be on the road. Here's Hogue, and he hits a line drive, just foul down the left field line, and that ball almost hit the base runner, Ossenfort, who had to show some real fancy footwork to get out of the way of that hot shot. I don't know if Ossenfort is a good dancer, but he had to have quick feet to get out of the way of that hot shot. 1-1. Here's the pitch. That one's in the dirt, blocked nicely by the catcher, Gerald. Be a tough road for Clemson. We're going to find out what they're all about. The 3 games here against NC State, then they play at Florida State next weekend. 2 balls, 1 strike, another one in the dirt. This one skips by the catcher, Gerald. Here comes Ossenfort to the plate. He's going to score on the wild pitch. Well, the gifts arrive for NC State. A wild pitch allowing Ossenfort to reach. A walk and a hit by a pitch in the inning. That's how NC State got runners on base. And so NC State has still scored in every inning. It's now 9-4 as the Pack gets one back. And Hogue takes a strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Gerald thought he blocked it. Then he realized, he looked at his ankles. The ball wasn't there. It rolled back to the backstop, and Ossenfort got a good jump off third, able to score. Here's a fastball, jammed him. And this one's pop foul out of play on the left. We mentioned that NC State's won 9 of its last 11. Well, Clemson has won 11 of 13 coming into this one. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Another one down low. So Samoa having a tough time throwing strikes. That's 2 walks and a hit by pitch in the inning. Well, I mentioned that this left-hander has not pitched a lot. Only 6 innings pitched here so far coming into this one. And let's see what we're going to get. Bakich, head coach Eric Bakich is on his way to the mound. He's going to go to the bullpen. Well, he almost had to do it. He's got a right-hander down there, and DeCrisio is the batter. And he's had himself a banner night. A double for an RBI in the first, singled and scored in the third. So DeCrisio is 2 for 3, and they're not going to let, Clemson's not going to let him face a left-hander here. And the Tigers are going to make a move. So we have a pitching change. We'll tell you about the new pitcher coming in right after this. You're listening to Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one team, UNC Health is keeping you well with renewed focus and approach to care services for you and your family. UNC Health, official healthcare provider of NC State Athletics. Learn more at unchealth.org/sports. Again, that's unchealth.org/sports.
Hey, Wolfpack fans, Bojangles is ready for game day. Bojangles, proud sponsor of Wolfpack Baseball, is home of the tailgate meal. 8 pieces of seasoned Cajun fried chicken, 2 picnic-sized fixins, 4 made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits, and a half a gallon of Bojangles iced tea. Whether it's before or after the game, baseball and Bojangles, a Wolfpack tradition.
Right-hander Nathan Dvorsky will be next in line for the Clemson Tigers here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Pack has scored a run here in the 5th without the benefit of a base hit. And Dvorsky will be facing DeCrisio. with 2 on and 2 outs. Pack making use of the sacrifice bunting skills again of Matt Hebner here in this 5th inning. Ossenford led off with a walk. Hebner laid down a bunt to get Ossenford to second. A fly ball to right by Head. Ossenford tagged and went to third and then scored on a wild pitch. So Dvorsky is going to take over for the Clemson Tigers. Nathan is 4-0 with a 6.75 ERA. This will be his 16th appearance. All have been in relief. He's thrown 14 and 2/3 innings, 11 runs, 10 hits, 12 walks, 20 strikeouts. That catches your attention. 20 strikeouts and 14 and 2/3. So he replaces Samal, who started this 5th inning, but he struggled with his control. 2/3 of an inning pitch, 1 run so far, a couple of walks, a hit by pitch. They didn't give up a hit, but just couldn't find the neighborhood known as home plate. So now DeCrisio with a chance. Pack has runners at first and second, 2 away. It's 9-4 NC State here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and DeCrisio backs out of the way of that fastball. That one run up there at 90 miles per hour. DeCrisio with a couple hits today, got his average up to 307 now. Here's the pitch, strike. There's a fastball right down Broadway, 1-1. McHugh the runner at first. Hogue is down at first. Or McHugh rather at second, Hogue at first. And DeCrisio has been swinging a clutch bat all season long for NC State and try to do it again. Now Dvorsky seems to be having trouble picking up the pitches, and they're having issues with that Bluetooth device again, apparently. Here comes Bellinger, the pitching coach, to the mound. He's going to give him a new device. It's Jimmy Bellinger, and it is pronounced Bellinger, not Belanger. Of course, the great shortstop for the Baltimore Orioles back in the late 60s, 70s, Mark Belanger. And now, of course, you got Cody Bellinger, who plays for the Yankees. In this case, it is Bellinger. Here's a fastball strike. That one right on the corner. That was a good pitch by Dvorsky, trying to limit the damage here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Pack with runners at first and second. Count is 1-2, 2 outs. Dvorsky to the plate. That one misses outside. Pack coming off the sweep of Cal. Has won 5 of 6 ACC series, which is outstanding. Here's the 2-2 pitch. DeCrisio pops it up. Right side in front of the NC State dugout. The catcher, Farrell, drops it. Probably would have been better letting the first baseman take that one. The only problem is Gaffney at first with the runners at first and second. He was playing way over towards the hole on the right side, and he probably wouldn't have been able to get there. So Jacob Gerald, the catcher, trying to make what is a very difficult play for a catcher, running over towards the first base dugout. He just really looked unsure of himself. And here's a drive into left center field. This could be trouble. And running it down is the left fielder, Listy. Boy, that speed will get it done for you defensively. And Dominic Listy prevents perhaps 2 more runs from scoring with that great sliding catch in left center field to rob DeCrisio. So NC State will settle for a run, no hits, no errors, 2 left. We head to the 6th, and the Wolfpack leads at 9-4. This is NC State baseball from Learfield.
At J. Alexander's, every meal brings people together with a focus on food and hospitality. Each aspect, from wood-fired steaks to handcrafted cocktails, is prepared to shape the dining experience. J. Alexander's in Raleigh is a space where friends meet, flavors are enjoyed, and every meal becomes an occasion. Located behind the Crabtree Mall at 4600 Crabtree Valley Avenue.
NC State's College of Agriculture and Life Sciences is working to future-proof your food supply. Technological advancements are revolutionizing how healthy food gets to our tables and nourishes our communities. Cal's faculty, students, and researchers are on the front lines generating the connectivity and collaboration required to develop tomorrow's workforce, champion evolving agriculture and life sciences industries, and drive resiliency through innovation. Learn more at cals.ncsu.edu.
9-4 NC State as Clemson comes to the plate here in the top of the sixth. I'm Tony Haynes, delighted to share some time with you here this weekend for this big series between a couple of top 25 teams in the ACC. It's going to be a great finish in the league, I'll tell you, just the way the standings all of a sudden are jammed up near the top. Florida State, Clemson, Georgia Tech, NC State in the top four right now, and here's a fastball strike from Anderson Nance. Josh Pano, the third baseman, leading it off for Clemson. He's 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk. Pano, the number 7 hitter, so you got the bottom third coming up against Anderson Nance. He pitched an inning in relief of Dominic Fritton. Came in the game in the fifth, gave up 1 hit. The run that scored on that hit, though, was charged to Fritton. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. He's got a good slider tonight. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Clemson's been really good on the road this year. Coming into this one, 6-1 in road games for the Tigers. There's a swing and a foul back. Count remains 1-2. Packford, the Tigers blanked number 5 Georgia 3-0. That was on Tuesday night. Here's a fastball just off the corner. Probably a little too close to take. Pano may have gotten away with one there, but Linus Baker did not ring him up. It's 2-2. And the pitch, Nance with a slider and a check swing, and he did not go around. That was a good take there by Pano, because that was an excellent slider delivered by Nance, but it certainly was off the plate. 2 strikes started to lay off that pitch. Started over the corner. Now it's 3-2. Pack trying to avoid another leadoff walk, and that's strike 3. Pano had taken 2 steps up the first base line and kind of barks back at Linus Baker, but he is rung up on that one. And that'll be the 3rd strikeout for Nance. That looked like a pretty good pitch to me. These Clemson hitters, I mean, they are really ultra patient at the plate. And I'll tell you, it's admirable, but with 2 strikes, that pitch right there is just too close to take. And he paid for it. So Nance gets the 1 out on a 3-2 pitch. Now Gaffney, the first baseman, is up there. He swings from the right side. Check swing on the slider, and this one rolls foul up the first base line. Well, Clemson has had a presence in the rankings. We mentioned earlier, they've been in the top 4 of at least 1 poll for 8 straight weeks. Here's a cut and a foul back on a fastball at 95. Clemson last year was ranked in the top 10 of at least 1 poll in all 18 weeks. That was in the 2024 season. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Tried to wrinkle that changeup in there and drop it over the outside corner. Just missed. Right now the Tigers on a streak of 29 top 10 rankings in a row. Pretty impressive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch to the plate. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Elevated that one at 97. Nance with the gas, and he gets Gaffney for the 2nd out of the inning. He just reared back and fired that fastball above the belt, probably just off the corner, but again, too close to take. So 2 quick outs on the strikeouts, and here's Chufo, the shortstop. He homered his last time up, and he looks at a strike. Another 97-mile-per-hour fastball. I'll tell you what, Nance has nasty stuff. I don't know if they could have expected that or not coming in as a freshman, but we mentioned coming into this relief appearance, over his last 10 innings pitched, just one hit, no runs against ACC competition. Here's a 1-1 slider, check swing. Chufo, that home run was his 5th of the year, hit it off of Fritton. That was back at the 5th, leading off the inning. Here's another pitch up. That runs the count 3-1. The ever-patient Dominic Listy is on deck for Clemson. Pack leading 9-4 here in the 6th. Here's the Nance pitch. This one's bounced up the middle slowly. Nixon charges, gloves, throws, not in time. As Chufo stumbles across the bag at first, that'll be an infield hit. And here comes Elliott Avent out of the dugout. Let's see if he's going to challenge here. I don't know. I think that Chufo beat it out from the naked eye, and looking at it, yeah, I don't think there's enough there to overturn it. Great play by Nixon. I mean, he had to come a long way to get in front of that one, and whew, I don't know. Boy, I'll tell you, it is really close. They're going to challenge. They're going to take a look at it. That ball was chopped by the mound. And once it got by the pitcher, Nance, you figured it was going to be a really difficult chance for Nixon. He charged the ball and then gloved it in front of second and made an off-balance throw that bounced up there in front of McHugh. And McHugh did a good job of gloving that ball out of the dirt. Chufo running really hard down the first base line, actually tripped over first base when he got down there. Now we're going to get another look at it. Well, let's see. I think he's out. You know what? I just got a really good look, and that ball got inside the interior part of McHugh's glove before the foot hit. The ball does not have to get to the back of the glove. It only has to enter the perimeter of the first base mitt of McHugh. And I think that ball did that before Chufo's foot landed on first base. Now, they're going to have, I don't know, it still could be a tough one to overturn. It's so close. But to me, on one of the angles we saw, it looked like they got him out. I've gotten to the point where I'm not going to be guessing on these replay reviews anymore. You know, I immediately looked down the dugout to see if Elliott Avent might want to try to look at that one, and he popped out of the dugout immediately and decided why not. Now we're getting another look at it from the center field camera. A tough off-balance throw by Nixon. And it looked like it got into the glove of McHugh before the foot hit. But I don't know if the umpires will overturn it or not. It's a big call because you've got the top of the order coming up for Clemson here. Listy, who's been a pest all night for Clemson. They're going to say safe. I think they got it wrong, but that won't be the first time. They're going to rule that just not enough video evidence to overturn the field. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. And for those of you who've been listening to me over the years, nobody's 100% objective, but I think I'm pretty close. Here's Dominic Listy, the left fielder. He's a left-handed hitter. He swings, and there's a ground ball base hit to right field. Here goes Chufo around second, and the throw will be cut off. So now Clemson set up, runners at the corners with 2 outs. Listy, who has gone up there tonight and hardly swung at anything, got a first pitch fastball there, and he knew what to do with it. So he is a really tough hitter. Not only does he walk a lot, 48 times, if you do miss in the middle of the plate, he can swing the bat. So he picks up Clemson's 6th hit. And now to be the left-hand hitting center fielder Canarella to the plate. So Nance in some 2-out trouble. He delivers a slider strike. Well, that looms large, that replay, if Clemson's able to score here. They slowed it down enough, and again, the ball does not need to hit the back of the mitt. Just needs to be in the interior part of the glove, and it appeared the ball got there before the runner arrived, but they did not overturn the call on the field. So here we go. Canarella swings at this pitch and taps it foul. down the first base line, and the count goes to no balls, 2 strikes. Canarella, good player on the Golden Spikes Award midseason watch list. No balls, 2 strikes. Runners at the corners. Here's Nance to the plate. High fastball. That one at 94. Maybe overthrown that one a little bit. With 2 strikes. Canarella, like a lot of these Clemson hitters, he didn't strike out a lot. So you're going to have to make quality pitches on him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's Nance to the plate. He delivers a slider, and this one's served foul out of play on the left. Canarella, 461 on base percentage. So he draws walks, and he makes a lot of contact, and he's got good speed as well. It's 1-2. Nance from the stretch. Deal, swing, and a miss. Change up. Got Canarella swinging. And that is the 5th strikeout for Nance. For Clemson in the 6th, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. Through 5.5. The Pack leads at 9-4. This is Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield.
Serving the Raleigh area since the year 2000, Sammy's is a proud NC State tradition. They have great food and a fun atmosphere and are known for their beer selections. Capable of hosting large parties or watching the game with your friends, Sammy's is a great choice for all. They're located between NC State University's main and Centennial campuses on Avon Ferry Road at the Mission Valley Shopping Center.
Thousands of our teammates make and deliver 300 of Coca-Cola's brands and flavors locally. From the heartland to the coast, in big cities and small towns, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a purpose, and we love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
NC State trying to take down the nation's 2nd-ranked team and win the first game of this 3-game series over Clemson. But we got a long way to go. Bottom of the 6th. Pack is up 9-4. Nathan Dvorsky, the 3rd pitcher used tonight for Clemson, will get Sosa, Fraseman, and Nixon here in the 6th. Really going to be an interesting 3 weeks to close this out here in the ACC race. Right now, Florida State up top, 11-4, although Clemson has more wins, 2 more wins than Florida State. Tigers are 13-5. So the standings are determined by winning percentage. So Clemson at 733, or Florida State 733, Clemson 722 by Florida State. It listed in first place. Here's Sosa wrapping this one to first, but right to the first baseman, Gaffney. And Sosa is retired on 1 pitch. So then Georgia Tech and NC State, if you look at the winning percentage, they're tied. They're in the 3rd place tie at 667. Georgia Tech with 1 more win. NC State with 1 fewer loss. Here's a swing by Fraseman, and this one's belted high and deep to left, and it's long gone. A no-doubter by Fraseman. And it's 10-4. First pitch fastball, and Fraseman smoked it over the Clemson bullpen in deep left center field. That one was gone right off the bat. A fastball that ran back over the middle, belled high, and Fraseman crushed it. Try to get the numbers on that. 384 feet, 104 off the bat by Fraseman. Pretty impressive. So 10-4 now, and Nixon, the battery, swings and misses. Frazeman with a 4-hit, 4 RBI night. First 4-hit game of the season for Frazeman. And the pitch to Nixon. He hits it high and deep to right field. Creighton is back at the wall at the track, and he makes the catch. Nixon flirting with back-to-back homers here in the 6th. 2 away. And Ossenford will be the batter for NC State. That homer for Frazeman, his 9th. And now he leads the team in home runs. He's just been on fire. Tried to check his swing, but he went around at Ossenford. Well, Ossenford's had a no-contact night. A walk, a hit by pitch, and a walk. Now, he'd tell you don't call it a no-contact night because he was hit by a pitch, and there was plenty of contact on that one. Here's a pitch that's inside from Dvorsky. I'll tell you what, Frazeman has become a force. You know, he's been batting 6th in the order for NC State. 1-1, and this one misses high. 2-1. You know, you're sitting here in the booth and you're calling some of these home runs. Many of them you have to wait to see if it clears the wall. That one by Frazeman was, you really didn't have to hesitate. It was, you could tell it was gone off the bat. Pretty impressive. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ossenford, number 8 hitter in the lineup. He almost gets hit again. Well, that fastball running in on him, chasing him off the plate. And the count goes to 3-2. So the Pack has scored in every inning tonight. Here's Ossenford. He gets jammed on this one, and there's a little sinking liner that goes foul down the third base side. Here's the breakdown for NC State. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, another one here in the 6th. Frazeman Ossenford swings and misses on a high fastball. And that will be a strikeout for Dvorsky, but NC State gets some insurance. The long homer by Frazeman makes it 10-4 NC State as we head to the 7th. This is Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield.
Hey, Pack fans, did you know over the past decade, Rebels Turf and Tractor and John Deere have provided turf equipment to maintain the sports fields at NC State? They're pleased to feature new and pre-owned golf and sports turf maintenance equipment. Rebels Turf and Tractor has a location in Myrtle Beach and their home base in Fuquay-Varina or RebelsTractor.com. You're now able to provide the same field conditions that the Pack plays on each week with the help of Rebels Turf and Tractor. Rebels Turf and Tractor is proud to support Wolfpack Athletics.
Wolfpack fans, North Carolina peanuts are consumed at ballparks, during games, or at gatherings. More information about the North Carolina Peanut Growers Association is available at aboutpeanuts.com.
Seventh inning peanut fact of the game is presented by the Peanut Growers of North Carolina. North Carolina ranked 3rd in the nation for peanut production last year. The state is also recognized for producing roasted in-shell peanuts, which have been a part of the sports and settings for decades. More information about the North Carolina Peanut Growers Association is available at aboutpeanuts.com. Braden Frazeman with an impressive blast. And the bottom of the 6th, giving NC State a 10-4 advantage over the second-ranked Tigers. And now Anderson Nance is back out there. He'll be facing Purify, the second baseman for Clemson. And here's a first pitch that misses outside. Nance has been great in relief of Dominic Fritton, who went 4 innings. Here's the pitch. That one's up high, 2-0. we're talking about the ACC standings and how tight it's going to be. North Carolina right there in 5th at 13-8. They started playing a little bit better. 2-0 pitch high, 3-0. So Nance trying to avoid the leadoff walk. There have been 3 of those tonight in the game. Here's a strike right through there. Purify is batting .303. Hit the ball in the air 3 times tonight. He swings and misses on that 94-mile-per-hour fastball, 3-2. I would imagine we're going to see another heater here. So Purify is going to have to gear it up. And here it is. And he did gear it up. He hits a sinking liner into center, and that's going to drop in front of Ty Head. So Clemson gets the leadoff man aboard again. That's the 5th time that's happened tonight. So they've done a good job there in that area. 5 out of 7 innings get the leadoff man aboard, but held to 4 runs on 7 hits. Got some good hitters coming up, though, including this guy, Priest, the cleanup batter. He had a 2-run homer in the first. And Nance to the plate. That one's down low. Looking at the schedule this weekend in the ACC, this is the only game being played tonight on Thursday. And a throw to first, runner back. Miami at Boston College tomorrow. That's a 4 o'clock start. At 6, 8th-ranked North Carolina will face off against Pittsburgh. That'll be up in the Steel City. Yeah, runner not going. 1-0 slider misses inside. Virginia's at number 24, Georgia Tech. That one starts at 6. Also at 6, tomorrow night, our game, Clemson and NC State. We'll have pregame coverage at 5:45. 2-0 the count. And here it comes. Strike. Fastball all the way. Priest taking all the way. Here's a series to keep an eye on this weekend. 4th-ranked Florida State is at number 19, Louisville. Two and 1. Purified not running. Pitch is swung on, sinking liner into the glove of DeCrisio. Out behind second base, and Purify did not stray too far off of first base, and he's able to scamper back. And when DeCrisio first caught that sinking liner off the end of the bat, I thought they might have a chance to double up Purify, but he saw right away, the play was right in front of him, that DeCrisio was going to get there to make the catch. So Priest lines out, albeit weakly, to the shortstop DeCrisio, and that's the first out of the inning. And now here's Jacob Gerald, the catcher. And the pitch to him, slider away. Gerald 1 out of 3. RBI single back in the 5th. Pack looking for 2 to close out this top of the 7th inning. Runner is going. Pitch is high. Throw to second is into center field. Purify will stop there at second base and not going to try to get up and go to third. So he got a good jump. He steals it. A little bit of a gamble running like that when you're down 10-4. Well, maybe it's not, because that was Purify's 22nd stolen base. He's 22 out of 26. So when you can run like that, not a gamble. And Sosa threw the ball in the center field. I don't think they would have gotten him anyway. Here's Nance to the plate. There is a good fastball strike on the corner. Rest of the schedule coming up this weekend: Virginia Tech at Duke. Notre Dame will host Cal. And Wake Forest making that long road trip out west to go up against the Stanford Cardinal. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Purify off second. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball swung on, fouled straight back. Gerald coming into this one, been on a homer binge. He has hit 8 home runs over his last 15 games. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Changeup misses away. 2-2. Well, we've seen Nance can give you length As we said, over his last 2 outings, 5 innings in each game, no runs. See how much he's got in the tank here tonight against a good Clemson team. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Nance to the plate. Did he check his swing? He did. Well, that was a good slider, and somehow Gerald was able to hold back. Tim Rosso, the first base umpire, watching that one closely, and he did check it. So that runs the count 3-2. I'll tell you, these Clemson hitters are tough. They're disciplined, and they don't chase very much. So you got to make good pitches. 3 balls, 2 strikes, time called. And Elliott Avent pops out of the NC State dugout, and he's having a conversation with Linus Baker, the home plate umpire. Now, Linus Baker pulls out a little notepad. Now, Coach Avent has a notepad with him or a lineup card or something like that. And I wonder if he's going to make some sort of defensive switch. Here is Coach Avent now is going to go to the mound. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Clemson making Nance work here in the inning. Gave up a base hit to Purify to start the frame. Then Priest lined out to short. Purify stole second. And now the count is 3-2 on the catcher, Gerald. And Coach Avent is going to be the one doing all the talking here on this mound visit. Now, as he walks back to the hill, he and home plate umpire Linus Baker are sharing a little smile. So whatever it was now, I don't think Coach Avent was debating anything. He just maybe wanted to give his pitcher a little bit of a breather. We'll see. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Gerald in the box awaiting this pitch from Nance. Here it is. It's a swing and a high fly ball in the right center field. Fraisman coming over. He's under it. He makes the catch. Purified tagging from second. Here's the throw, and he's in there safely. Ball gets by Hebner, the third baseman, but Nance backing up right in front of the Clemson dugout. Purify can just fly. So he ends up at third, but that's the second out on the fly ball to right. I'll tell you what, Fraisman made it closer than probably it should have been with his throw. It was a decent throw into third. Ball, Hebner tried to catch it out in front of the bag just as Purify was sliding in. The ball came out of the glove of Hebner, but again, good play by the freshman pitcher Nance backing up. And now Jack Crichton, the right fielder, will be the batter. He looks at a good slider strike. Crichton tonight is 0 for 3, average at 257. Crichton 19 out of 74 this year with 12 RBIs. He gets jammed on this pitch, popped up, foul territory, third base side, catch is made by Hebner. Well, that was a good pitch by Nance. He really sawed him off. And that'll do it for the Tigers. No runs hit, no errors, 1 left. 7th inning stretch time here at the ballpark. Wolfpack leading 10-4. This is NC State baseball from Learfield.
NC State's College of Agriculture and Life Sciences is working to future-proof your food supply. Technological advancements are revolutionizing how healthy food gets to our tables and nourishes our communities. Cal's faculty, students, and researchers are on the front lines generating the connectivity and collaboration required to develop tomorrow's workforce, champion evolving agriculture and life sciences industries, and drive resiliency through innovation. Learn more at cals.ncsu.edu.
Hey, Pack fans, did you know over the past decade, Rebels Turf and Tractor and John Deere have provided turf equipment to maintain the sports fields at NC State? They're pleased to feature new and pre-owned golf and sports turf maintenance equipment. Rebels Turf and Tractor has a location in Myrtle Beach and their home base in Fuquay Varina or RebelsTractor.com. You're now able to provide the same field conditions that the Pack plays on each week with the help of Rebels Turf and Tractor. Rebels Turf and Tractor is proud to support Wolfpack Athletics.
head to the bottom of the 7th inning. New pitcher in for Clemson is Michael Gillen. He is a right-hander. And I am looking here at the Clemson stats. And I don't see Gillen on there. So that would indicate this is Gillen's first opportunity to pitch for Clemson this year. He doesn't show up on the stats. Well, Clemson's down 10-4. I don't know if you call this waving the white flag or not. Just going to double check a couple of the other stats to make sure I'm not seeing things, but I don't see his name on there. So it'll be Gillen, a right-hander. Try to get some background information on him. Well, he's going to face Matt Hebner to start things here in the bottom of the 7th with NC State leading 10-4. Pack has scored in every inning against the number 2 team in the country. Hebner, the number 9 hitter, and the first pitch to him is a high fastball at 92. Gillen is a 6'2", 220-pound junior, a right-hander from Rochelle Park, New Jersey, transferred in from Seton Hall. And the pitch to him, the pitch is down low to Hebner, 2-0. So Gillen becomes the 4th pitcher used tonight by Clemson. Hebner looks at a fastball strike. That one at 93. Hebner picked up an RBI on a bunt back in the 2nd. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. Laid down another sac bunt in the 5th. So he's got 16 sacrifice bunts this year. That leads the nation. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, pop foul behind us. It's 2-2. It'll be Hebner, Head, and McHugh. NC State trying to win its 5th straight ACC game and knock off the 2nd-ranked Clemson Tigers. There's a slider. It's popped up behind the plate. Gerald, the catcher, gives it a look-see, but no chance to go get that one. Count remains 2-2. So we're seeing Gillen for the first time this year for Clemson. Here's the right-hander's pitch, a breaking ball, called strike 3 on the inside corner. That was a curveball that started off the inside edge, but had enough to get back over the corner, and Hebner gave up on it. Well, that was quite the curveball. That's not where he wanted it. Gerald, the catcher, was set up on the outside corner. A lot of times, if the catcher has to reach across to the other side of the plate, umpire doesn't give you the call. With all that movement from the catcher's mitt, here's Ty Head lining one off the glove of the second baseman Purify. Head around first on his way to second, and a hustle double. That was a line drive, hit off the end of the bat. Purify, the second baseman, tried to make a diving catch on one hop out in the outfield grass, but the ball ricocheted off the webbing of his glove, and then he slowed it down enough where the right fielder, Crichton, who was playing deep, had to come a long way to get to that ball. That was a great read by Head to see that ball rolling into shallow right field. He knew he had a chance to get to second base, and he was able to make it in fairly easily. So Head, a hustle double. That's his first hit of the night. 13 base knocks for NC State. McHugh swings and misses at the first pitch. And now they have a pickoff play on. Second baseman Purified trying to sneak in behind Head, but he was on to that one by the time the ball arrived. Head was standing on second. McHugh, a right-handed hitter. And here's the pitch to the plate. It hits him right in the back. Seeing a little bit of that here tonight. In fact, that's the second straight time that McHugh has been hit by a pitch. So a 1 out. Now first and second for NC State. And now Hogue, the batter. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game, trying to keep the streak alive. The Pack has scored in every inning tonight. Here's the pitch. Hogue swinging at a slider here, and he taps this one foul behind home plate. 3 runs in the first, 3 in the third, and solo runs in the second, fourth, fifth, sixth for NC State. That's how you build a 10-4 lead. Here's a pitch to Hogue, a slow bouncer to the right side. Purify ranging to his left, up with it, makes the throw in time. What a play by the Clemson second baseman. He robs Hogue of a hit, robs NC State of a run. That ball was not hard hit towards the hole on the right side, but Purify with that blazing speed, able to cut it off in the outfield grass, and then he gets his body twisted around enough where he can make a strong throw to first. And that's the second out of the inning. That was a heck of a play by the Clemson second baseman. And now the batter is DeCrisio, who takes a strike. Wolfpack shortstop, 2 more hits tonight. 2 for 4, 305 is the average. There's a slider strike. Just like that, the count is 0-2. Head at third, McHugh at second. Pack leading 10-4 here, batting in the bottom of the 7th. Slider swung on, lifted high in the air. Shallow right field. It'll be the center fielder coming over. That'll be Cavarella to make the catch, and that's the streak. It's over. First time tonight, NC State has not scored at least 1 run in an inning, so pretty good job there by Gillen. We have gotten through 7, and NC State up on Clemson 10-4 as Wolfpack baseball from Learfield.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one team, UNC Health is keeping you well with renewed focus and approach to care services for you and your family. UNC Health, official healthcare provider of NC State Athletics. Learn more at unchealth.org/sports. Again, that's unchealth.org/sports.
At J. Alexander's, every meal brings people together with a focus on food and hospitality. Each aspect, from wood-fired steaks to handcrafted cocktails, is prepared to shape the dining experience. J. Alexander's in Raleigh is a space where friends meet, flavors are enjoyed, and every meal becomes an occasion. Located behind the Crabtree Mall at 4600 Crabtree Valley Avenue.
Anderson Nance back out there here for the 8th inning. He entered the game in the 5th in relief of Fritton. And so far so good for Nance. Just continues to pitch beautiful baseball. 3 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, no walks. So Nance has pitched over his last 3 outings 14 consecutive scoreless innings for NC State. And he gets the bottom third of the order. It'll be Pano, the third baseman, starting it for Clemson. See, it'll be Crichton at the plate. No, Pano is right. Josh Pano, the third baseman. First pitch to him is outside. Pano tonight, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Here's a fastball strike. So the pitch count now for Nance, 62. That's exactly the number of pitches he threw last week in his win out of the bullpen against Cal. Here's a slider popped up infield right side. Nixon coming over. McHugh just gets out of the way and lets Luke Nixon handle this one. That's out number 1. Nance, max pitching-wise this year, his career high and season high here at NC State. He is a freshman. He threw 89 pitches in relief over at Duke. That was on March 29th. Here's a fastball strike. And right now he's at 64, so he's in pretty good shape if he can remain efficient here. Gaffney, the first baseman up there, he's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Another strike, fastball. Right on the corner. Perfect placement by Nance. Working quickly with nobody on base. Right-hander's ready to go. And here's a check swing, and he did check it. That was a high fastball out of the zone. Going to get another look at it. Yeah, he checked it. Good call by the first base umpire, Tim Rosso. Seen a lot of check swings since Nance came into the game, and that tells you he's got great stuff. Next pitch is outside, 2-2. Gaffney, the number 8 hitter for Clemson, batting .284. 4 homers, 31 driven in. Nance to the plate. Here's a fastball, and swinging late is Gaffney, and he pops it foul out of play on the right. Clemson went to work early on Dominic Fritton in the first. Listy, the left fielder, leadoff man in the order. Here's a swing and a miss on a nasty slider. That's the best pitch of the night by Nance. And he is dialed in right now for NC State. That is his 6th strikeout. So 2 away, bases empty, and now Chufo, the shortstop, is up there. Chufo's having a good night, 2 for 3. Leadoff homer in the 5th, singled in the 6th. He's a right-handed batter, pitches outside. Anyway, get back to the first inning. Listy started it with a walk. Then with 2 outs, the DH, Colin Priest, homered to left. That gave Clemson a 2-0 lead. Here's a strike. Within the pack. Seemed to score every inning. In fact, NC State scored at least 1 in the first 6 innings before being shut out in the 7th. Here's a slider, and this one's ripped just foul wide of the bag at third. Chufo just missing a double by a matter of inches. That was a hanging slider. That wasn't one of his better ones. That one out over the plate a little bit. Chufo with a good swing, but fortunately for NC State, missed the bag by, I'd say about 5 or 6 inches. But now the count 1-2 for Nance, trying to work a 1-2-3-8. Looks at his wristband to get the call from the dugout. Now the right-hander's ready. Here comes the pitch. Fastball. Oh, boy, what a pitch. Strike? That was a strike. Technology in the booth confirms it. I was wondering, that just looked like a great pitch. 2-2. Here it comes. This one swung on, fouled on the screen above the dugout. It's not like I'm sitting here watching, they got the box behind home plate, but fortunately we've got all the technology, the TrackMan and everything else right here in the booth with me, so I can get a confirmation. Here's a swing. That's a strike. Swing and a miss on a slider. 2 more strikeouts in the inning. Nance has become a monster out of the pack pen. He retires the side in order. We played 7.5. Wolfpack leading second-ranked Clemson 10-4. This is NC State baseball from Learfield.
This is Matt Chazanow, voice of the Wolfpack. As a parent, I know nothing is more important than the safety of our children. More than 22% of teen-involved crashes per year in North Carolina are the result of distracted driving. Help protect our teenage drivers by ensuring they practice safe driving habits and avoid distracted driving. Always encourage your teens to put down the phone while driving and lead by example. Let's have a hands-free NC. Brought to you by Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina. Learn more at trustedchoice.com/GoState.
Hey, Wolfpack fans, Bojangles is ready for game day. Bojangles, proud sponsor of Wolfpack Baseball, is home of the tailgate meal. 8 pieces of seasoned Cajun fried chicken, 2 picnic-sized fixins, 4 made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits, and a half a gallon of Bojangles iced tea. Whether it's before or after the game, baseball and Bojangles, a Wolfpack tradition.
Justin Legurnick will be the new pitcher for Clemson. And he will take over here in the bottom of the 8th with NC State leading 10-4. And Legurnick has one of those last names that you gotta go to the pronunciation guide. because I'll give you the spelling on it. Last name spelled Leguernic. Unusual name. And he is a lefty, a sophomore lefty. Leguernic taking over for Clemson here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So he'll become the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Tigers. And Leguernic will get Sosa, Frazeman, and Nixon. Here in the 8th, Pack leading 10-4, trying to win the first game, and in doing so, knock off the second-ranked Clemson Tigers. NC State 3 outs away as Leguernic takes over. Leguernic has made 6 starts this year. This will be his 10th appearance overall. 0-3, pitching to a 7.71 ERA, and he gets Sosa. Sosa's really swung the bat well here tonight. Lefty-lefty matchup here, and here's the first pitch that misses outside. Sosa doubled and scored back in the 3rd, doubled and scored in the 4th, and the pitch to him just off the plate outside. I think what we'll walk away talking about here tonight, one of the things we'll talk about walking away here tonight is the quality of NC State's at-bats. You know, Aiden Canuck, the starter for Clemson, been a dominant pitcher this year, but boy, the Pack just wore him out with quality at-bats, running the count up, staying up the middle on that changeup. Count 3-0 now on Sosa. Wolfpack catchers really turned it around offensively here over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Here's a strike. Think about Sosa, you know, 3 weeks ago at Virginia, when Virginia was in here, they're throwing a lot of left-handed pitchers, and he looks so lost at the plate. But boy, he's really come back since then. 3-1 the count now, and the pitch. This one's hammered up the middle, another base hit for Sosa. His 3rd of the night. That's what I'm talking about, the quality of the bats, 2-strike approach. Hit the ball up the middle. Clemson had the second baseman, Purify, pulled way over on the whole side. So the middle of the field was wide open, and Sosa used it to his advantage. And how about Braden Frazeman? You talk about great at-bats tonight. Frazeman is 4 for 4 with 5 RBIs. Last time up, a long solo homer to left, and he hits another long drive. Deep left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It is gone. What a night for Frazeman. One to remember against the nation's second-ranked team. Frazeman, 5 for 5 with 6 RBIs, 2 home runs. Make it 7 RBIs. How about that? That looked like a hanging slider right down the middle, and Frazeman, who is locked in, crushes one inside the pole and left. And the Pack is up 12-4 on Clemson. Check swing by Nixon on a breaking ball. Oh, a record night for Braden Frazeman. 5 for 5, 7 RBIs. 1-0. Nixon swings on this one, pulls it foul, wide of the bag at first. NC State has just come out here and rocked Clemson pitchers. Tigers came in as a team, respectable 4.32 ERA, but Pack has pretty much jumped on everybody Clemson's run out there. It's 1-1. Here's a strike. Fastball from Leguernic. Nixon singled and got an RBI on a bunt in the 3rd. He's 1 for 4, make it 2 for 5 as he dunks this one into center field for a base hit. And the hits keep on coming. Well, now Elliott Avey coming out. The DH spot, Austin Fort, is due up. He's not going to bat. It'll be Jaros against the left-hander. So get a chance to see Jaros for the first time. Ryan, big, strong power hitter. If he hits one out of here, the game's over. Because NC State could walk out of here and say, you know what, we run-ruled the number 2 team in the country. Jaros is certainly capable, and here's a wild pitch by Jarrell, and that'll send Nixon down to second base. Clemson's good, but I'll tell you, there have been times tonight they've looked like the Bad News Bears out here. So Nixon down at second. Back up 12-4, Jaros. Big, strong right-handed hitter. Here's a line shot deep into left field, and a running catch by Listy. Well, he flirted well. Oh, now the ball gets loose in the infield. Nobody's covering third, and Nixon goes to third. Now there's your Bad News Bears right there. So there got to be a throwing error from somebody. Listy threw the ball over the head of the cutoff man. Then the third baseman, Pano, had it go off his glove, and nobody was covering third. Nixon alertly moves up to third. I don't know how they score that one. Probably got to be an error on somebody. Maybe the left fielder, Listy, for overthrowing the cutoff man. Here's Hebner to the plate, checks his swing. Oh, he didn't check it. That on a slider down and in. Tim Rosso said he went around. Nixon off third, pitch to Hebner, strike. That fastball 92 right over the middle of the plate. Hebner 1 for 3, naturally a bunt single tonight. Laid down 2 beautiful bunts in this ball game. That's become his specialty. 1-1 pitch, another wild one. And this one skips back to the screen behind home plate, and that will allow Nixon to score on the second wild pitch of the inning. Check with Gerald, the catcher, make sure he's okay. It looks like the wiring of that communication device may have come loose. And Eric Bakich, the head coach, has come out to check on him. Also talking with home plate umpire Linus Baker. What is this? Are they calling for some sort of review? The 4 umpires are going to get together, and they're going to go look at the replay. Now, what they're looking at, I have no idea. This was a wild pitch. Oh, I think they're going to maybe claim that the ball may have hit Hebner, but the slider went behind Hebner in the box and then skipped to the backstop. So I guess Clemson is saying, you know, that's not a wild pitch, that they think it may have grazed the back of Hebner's leg, which is a kind of a bizarre challenge if you think about it. He's going out there and saying, no, that's not a wild pitch. Our pitcher hit their batter. So I guess that's what they're going to look at. Well, as it stands right now, if that run counts, it'll be 13-4. Now the umpires, they don't want to fool around with this one. They're out of the replay room very, very quickly. And Linus Baker, I'm assuming, will make the call. Yep, they're going to say Hebner's got to go to first base. So it is a hit batter. So Nixon's going to have to go back to third. So Hebner hit by the pitch. Now that gets the leadoff man, Ty Head, back out there. Now remember, only one out. It's 12-4 now. They got to take that 13th run off the board. And they have. Clemson will defensively play, double play depth here with Nixon at third, Hebner down at first. Pack needs 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th to make it a 10-run game and walk it off. I'm sure they've discussed that in the dugout. Head will have that on his mind, and now what? Now the 4 umpires are going to meet again. Linus Baker's pointing to the runner at first, pointing to the runner at third. Now they're going to, what in the world? Now they're going to say that it was a wild pitch and that Luke Nixon will score. How is that possible when they went in there and looked at the replay? And now Linus Baker is having to explain all of this to Eric Bakich. That is really bizarre. They went in there, they looked at the replay, it took about 5 seconds. They walked back out. They pointed to first, told Hebner to go to first, told Luke Nixon to go back to third. Then the 4 umpires got together again. No. I guess what they're saying, no, that's not what we agreed to in the replay room. So it's back to 13-4 if you're keeping score at this point. I think I'll stop. Now what's the count? That's the other thing. 2-1 if it's a wild pitch. And I think Linus Baker, the home plate umpire, has lost track of the count. They say 2-1 on the scoreboard. It's 1-2. So before the wild pitch, the count was 0-2. And the count now 1-2 on Hebner. All right, there we go. And here's the pitch. Hebner sends one into left center field, and Listy with a dive. He makes the catch. Boy, he is impressive in left field. That was a sinking liner into left center field, and he robs Hebner, who hit that one right on the nose. Hebner got a fastball right out over the plate, and he smashed that one into left center field, but Listy really covers a lot of ground with his speed. You look at Listy, the left fielder, and Purify, the second baseman. Those guys are burners. Here's a slider outside the head. Head doubled his last time up. Had 2 sac flies early in the game, so a couple of RBIs, and there's a slider down low. So 13-4, NC State is up. Here in the bottom of the 8th, 2 away, nobody on. Pitch to Head. Gets around on this one and hits a dart down into the NC State bullpen, and everybody's ducking, get out of the way of that one. Head out in front of that pitch. 2-1. LeGurnick, a lefty against the left-hand batting Head, who takes a strike on the inside corner. That was a perfect pitch. Head struck out on a very similar pitch from the starter, Canuck. That was way back in the first inning. 2-2, and the pitch. And here's a little bloop into shallow right field. That'll dunk in there for another hit for Head. And another hit for the Pack. That should be number 17 in the game. Yep, 13 runs, 17 hits. So here in the bottom of the 8th with the score 13-4, Ty Head represents the winning run. Chris McHugh up there for NC State. Guy is certainly capable of ending it with one swing of the bat. He's had a rough night at the plate, though. He's been hit by 2 pitches. Ground ball, backhanded by the shortstop. Chufo throws to second, not in time. What a jump by Head off of first base. Should be a base hit for McHugh. He hit a rocket to the hole. Nice job by Chufo backhanding that ball, but then he couldn't get the ball out of his glove, and that allowed Head to slide in safely at second. So now Head at second, he represents the winning run. And the batter is Josh Hogue, trying to end it right here. And the pitch, and the slider's in there for a strike. Well, somebody either in the dugout or down in the crowd, they're They're chanting, "Let's go walk-off." They got a chance. 0-1 is the count. Here's Head, line drive, left center field. That's going to drive home the winning run. Josh Hogue with a game-winning base hit. Head crosses the plate. And how about this? NC State gets a run rule win over second-ranked Clemson. And the Pack celebrates out between the mound and second base. So Hogue delivers. Got a slider out over the plate. Punched it into left center field. Head scores from second base easily. And the Wolfpack roughs up second-ranked Clemson. Final score from Doak Field. Wolfpack 14, Clemson 4. This is NC State baseball from Learfield.
Thousands of our teammates make and deliver 300 of Coca-Cola's brands and flavors locally. From the heartland to the coast, in big cities and small towns, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a purpose, and we love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one team, UNC Health is keeping you well with renewed focus and approach to care services for you and your family. UNC Health, official healthcare provider of NC State Athletics. Learn more at unchealth.org/sports. Again, that's unchealth.org/sports.
Wolfpack fans, North Carolina produces roasted in-shell ballpark peanuts. The state's growers are dedicated to producing sustainably grown peanuts that are commonly used in game day snacks, whether at the ballpark or watching from home. More information about the North Carolina Peanut Growers Association is available at aboutpeanuts.com.
NC State's College of Agriculture and Life Sciences is working to future-proof your food supply. Technological advancements are revolutionizing how healthy food gets to our tables and nourishes our communities. Cal's faculty, students, and researchers are on the front lines generating the connectivity and collaboration required to develop tomorrow's workforce, champion evolving agriculture and life sciences industries, and drive resiliency through innovation. Learn more at cals.ncsu.edu.
Comes changeup. This one's lined down towards the left field corner. Is it fair or foul? It is a fair ball in the corner. McHugh to the plate, and they will hold Hogue at third. Here's a 2-2 pitch, smack back up the middle. There's a base hit. Here comes Hogue to the plate. DeCrisio will score without a throw. And the Pack bounces right back. After Clemson scored a pair in the first, NC State puts 3 on the board in the bottom half. And just like that, NC State is leading 3-2. 2-run single for Fraisman. Britton is ready. Here he comes. He got him with that inside fastball again. Runs it right by the swing of Gaffney. And that is a strong rebound inning for Dominic Fritton, who retires the side in order with 2 strikeouts. Count is 1-1. Fraisman waits, swing, line drive, another base hit. That drops in center field. DeCrisio scores. Sosa will stop at third. Looked like another changeup, and Fraisman just stayed up the middle. He's got 3 RBIs tonight, but he came up empty. 1-0 the count. Now he squares the bunt, pulls the bunt down the first base line. Pitcher takes a look at home plate. Now he has to go to first. Too late. 1 ball and a strike. Pitch to the plate. Slider. This one's whacked down the right field line. Could be trouble if it's a fair ball. It is. Down in the corner, Fraisman with his 3rd hit and his 4th RBI of the night. How about that? Here's a swing by Fraisman, and this one's belted high and deep to left, and it's long gone. A no-doubter by Fraisman. And it's 10-4. And how about Braden Fraisman? You talk about great at-bats tonight. Fraisman is 4 for 4. with 5 RBIs. Last time up, a long solo homer to left, and he hits another long drive. Deep left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It is gone. What a night for Frazeman. They got a chance. 0-1 is the count. Here's Head. Line drive, left center field. That's going to drive home the winning run. Josh Hogue with a game-winning base hit. Head crosses the plate. And what a night it turns out to be. Not only did NC State knock off the number 2 team in the country, it was a run rule ending. You just heard it. Josh Hogue with a base hit to left center field, driving home Ty Head in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Pack pounds Clemson 14-4 tonight. And NC State getting off to a great start in this series, jumping on the Tigers. And how about this? A number of storylines breaking from this game. First, you got to start with Aiden Canuck, the starting pitcher for Clemson. The Tigers had been 10-0 in his starts this year. He made 10 starts coming into this one. Tigers had won every one of those games. Dating back to last season, Clemson had been 23-2 in Canuck's 25 career starts. But tonight, the Pack roughs him up and knocks off Clemson 14-4, and Canuck loses his first game of the year. So here are the final totals. For NC State, 14 runs, 19 base hits. There were so many good at-bats out there tonight for the Pack. So 14 runs, 19 hits, 11 men left on, no errors. For Clemson, 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and the Tigers strand 8. Anderson Nance continues his mastery out of the Pack pen. He picks up the win, and he improves his record to 7-1. Here's Nance tonight, 4 innings in relief of Fritton. 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs. That means over his last 3 appearances out of the bullpen, Nance has delivered 14 consecutive shutout innings for NC State. And then Aiden Canuck, the pitcher we talked about for Clemson, has that great changeup that the Pack really did a good job against that changeup, staying up the middle with it, and the Wolfpack really roughed up Canuck, a guy that's just been in total command this year, but he gives up 4 earned runs on 3 hits over 4 innings, so he takes the loss, his first of the year. He is 6-1. So with this win, the Pack now improves to 13-6 in the ACC, or 13-6 in the ACC. Overall record improves to 28-12. Clemson hasn't lost a lot of them this year, but the Tigers, they dropped to 13-6 in the ACC and 36-8 overall. Clemson had won 11 of 13 coming in, but they take it on the chin tonight. By the way, speaking of streaks, the Pack now has won 5 in a row and 10 of its last 12. 14-4. This one ends in the bottom of the 8th. NC State drilling number 2 Clemson. We'll wrap it up after this. You're listening to Wolfpack Baseball from Learfield.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one team, UNC Health is keeping you well with renewed focus and approach to care services for you and your family. UNC Health, official healthcare provider of NC State Athletics. Learn more at unchealth.org/sports. Again, that's unchealth.org/sports.
Wolfpack fans, it's baseball season. North Carolina peanuts provide protein, fiber, and heart-healthy nutrients. More information about the North Carolina Peanut Growers Association is available at aboutpeanuts.com.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcast rights granted by NC State University. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of NC State University and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by NC State University.
Great way to start the weekend for NC State baseball. Pack continues to move up the ACC standings. Tonight knocking off second-ranked Clemson 14-4. And let's look at these updated standings now. So NC State, with this win, 13-6 in the league. And Clemson also 13-6. Trying to figure this one out. Florida State will be playing tomorrow, playing at Louisville. So Florida State is going to be walk out of tonight. They'll be in first place going into their series against Louisville. But let's see, Georgia Tech is 14-7. Where does that leave things? It should. I had to figure it out on winning percentage. Could leave NC State in a second place tie with Clemson as we speak. But 2 more games to go in the series, and we'll know a lot more by the time we finish this one up on Saturday. Game 2 coming up tomorrow night will be a 6 o'clock start here from Doak Field at Dale Park. That means our airtime will be 5:45. Zach Burhan's another trusty performance tonight in the booth as our producer. And maybe a good luck charm as well as NC State knocks off the second-ranked Clemson Tigers. Game that ended in the bottom of the 8th. A run rule finish. Josh Hogue with a game-winning base hit to score a tie head from second base. And the Pack wins it 14-4. We'll see what is to transpire tomorrow, and we hope you will join us. Again, the airtime will be 5:45. For our producer, Zach Burhans, I'm Tony Haynes from the ballpark. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. You've been listening to NC State Baseball from Learfield.
You've been listening to NC State Baseball on the Wolfpack Sports Network from Learfield. Today's broadcast has been brought to you by Hampton Farms, Rebels Turf and Tractor, UNC Health, Bojangles, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, and Coca-Cola. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Wolfpack Sports Network.